Preplec.io.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying to selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing our limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving a mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation, I'm finessing a visit.
Oh, what is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Vancouver. We have René de Ridder going against Brendan Allen. We have a 13-fight card coming up this Saturday in Canada. I'm here with Uncle Weezy, as always, 10:15 Eastern Time on the dot. Started right on time. What is up, Weezy? Are you looking forward to UFC Vancouver?
Yeah, this would be a fun card. I was looking at it from top to bottom. There's fun fights up and down the card. You know, I mean, it's all Canadian, so we're going to have to go. You know, the UFC's got a deep bench. We got to pull out the deep bench to put Canadians in almost every fight. So we're going to see some names that we've never seen before. We're going to see some of the lower level Canadian names as well. But, you know, these are good crowds always, and it always seems to be fun cards in Canada. And there usually seems to be some kind of a trend. Either all the Canadians get served or they go like 7-0 or something like that. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out, but we've got some fun fights on this card, and we've got some lines that aren't making a lot of sense to me. So I'm looking forward to chatting it up with you and our chat and finding out what's what on this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of totals lines that don't make a ton of sense to me. They open up totals today, and I messaged you like 6 of them that I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, this is good. This is good. This is amazing. This is okay. This is good. This one's amazing. Like there's a lot of totals actually sticking out, which that hasn't been the case for years for totals on a Sunday. So they've been onto it, but I think maybe they'll let a new intern make some lines today. I don't know, but we'll talk about all of that. Before we get into, if you guys could like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And I did do a poll. So we have a lot of people that need to get some help, Weezy.
Yeah.
So instead of doing one poll for the winner, I'm actually going to do 3 different polls, a total of 12 different people. So in the first one, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take the top 2 people from the first poll, and then the top person from the second poll and the top person from the third poll, and then we're going to put the top 4 total into a poll, and then we're going to see who needs to get the most help, because there's literally 12 people that potentially need to get some help. So the first poll, we got Lucas Almeida, who fought with a broken hand, proceeded to not throw that broken hand, and proceeded to get knocked out in the very first round. We got Ricardo Ramos, who lost to Con Offley. That's enough to get you onto the get some help list. Montel Jackson, who looked like he threw the fight. I wonder if Montel got paid off last night. He didn't try at all. It was really weird. Didn't let his hands go. I mean, all the credit in the world to Figgy, but geez, I mean, try at least, Montel. And then Joel Alvarez, who, you know, partially wasn't his fault, but partially, you know, definitely let Luque off the hook. I mean, Luque literally quit like he did in the Buckley fight, but the fight proceeded to somehow, some way go 15 minutes for God knows why. So definitely 4 people that potentially need to get some help. And we're going to see, I'll actually close it right now to see who are the top 2 people that need to get some help. And we'll move on to the next list here. So out of that list, Weezy, believe it or not, in 4th place, Joel Alvarez couldn't finish the corpse of Vicente Luque, only 14%. Montel Jackson looked like he might have thrown the fight, taking it to show up, 27%. Lucas Almeida, broken hand, decided to fight, 28%. And then Ricardo Ramos lost to Con Offley. Believe it or not, Ricardo Ramos and Lucas Almeida, the top 2, moving on to the next round. Weezy, thoughts on that?
I mean, that was just a wild one. The whole Lucas Almeida thing to me, I mean, I guess we'll talk about that maybe a little bit later, but that was just, I mean, the whole point of having a commission in what I thought the reason was that so that you could actually have legal gambling markets on these fights. And I don't know how could you let the public know that the guy has a broken hand and then let the fight go on and watch the dude's line get steamed from minus 140 to minus 300. And then Lucas Almeida goes out there and doesn't throw his right hand once. I mean, it's how is that not a fixed fight?
It was a fixed fight.
It's a fixed fight. I mean, the whole point of having a commission, and maybe I'm wrong about this, Brady, so maybe somebody in the chat can like correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought that a member of the commission was present when somebody's hands were being wrapped for a fight, right?
You would think,
So
yeah.
if somebody's got a broken hand, can somebody please explain to me that how somebody with a broken hand would be allowed to compete in a mixed martial arts competition at the UFC level when there are literally, I mean, like, how much money do you think got bet on that fight in total? You know,
A lot.
it's got to be probably in the millions total between all the sports books, you know, to all of them together. You know, that was a fixed fight where the injury was known, the line got steamed, and the fight was allowed to happen. It's just absolutely bizarre. So, I mean, Lucas Almeida doesn't need nearly as much help as the Brazilian commission that's allowing Simon Oliveira to compete 8 pounds over. That's allowing this guy to fight with a broken hand, Lucas Almeida. That's allowing Osiris Maia to stop a fight in the first round and then let it start again. I mean, like, there's the chicanery, and yeah, I think Montel Jackson, like, what was that? Dude, if I would have had money on Montel, Brady, I wouldn't be here today.
Same. Yeah, me either.
I think both of our ovens would have been turned up to 450, and we would have been found with our heads in them. Like, my condolences to anybody that had serious money on Montel Jackson, because watching that had to be one of the worst things that you've ever went through in your life.
Yeah. I'm glad I didn't have any money on that
Me
fight.
too. I put him in my greasy four-legger, but it was already dead at that point thanks to Joel Alvarez not getting a finish. So, hey.
All right. Yeah, I mean, it was a wild night. All right, we got 26. Let's get to at least 50 votes, guys. So we in the poll number 2, part 2 out of 3, the options are Osiris Maia, who Osiris Maia. How does stuff like this keep happening? Like, it's happened twice in the last 3 weeks where I get the pick right, I get the bet right, I pick the winner, the round, the method correctly, and then I lose the bet. Joe Alvarez knocked out Vicente Luque in the first round, right? Alvarez landed a shot to the eye. It was a legal punch. Got him with the thumb. That's a legal punch. It's a legal blow. Osiris Maia proceeds to actually wave the fight off.
Mm-hmm.
Fight's over, right? And then he checks the replay. They say it's a legal strike. Oh, it's legal. Okay. Well, let's bring in the doctor then. Let's bring in the doctor. Let's give Luque a break. Make sure he's ready to continue. What do you mean, Osiris Maia? What do you mean we're going to bring in the doctor to make sure Luque is okay to continue? It was a legal strike. So not only did Alvarez knock out Luque in the first round, they brought in a doctor to make sure Luque is okay to continue. They gave Luque time to recover when, again, it was a legal strike. It's another new. It's another new for the UFC, because I don't think I've ever seen that happen ever, where it was a legal blow and you get time to recover. It just makes no sense. So, and then to make matters worse, Luque quits in the second round, like in the Buckley fight. Luque pulled guard, Weezy. He pulled guard,
laying the ground and pound,
ends up on bottom, and then Joel Alvarez proceeds to elbow him in the head 100 unanswered times. Luque's laying there covered up, the fight could have been stopped several different instances.
Yeah.
So I'm a little upset with Osiris Mai. I'm also upset with Joel Alvarez. I mean, all of a sudden he forgets how to lock Badars, lock an anaconda. All of a sudden he doesn't know how to do that now. I don't know. It smells a little bit fishy to me between Osiris Maya, between Joel Alvarez, and somehow not finishing Luke. Luke was begging to be finished. He was begging for the door, but he wouldn't show it to him. So Osiris Maya, one of the options. Other option is Simon Oliveira, who, they were actually talking about the injury he sustained on his walkout, and I was watching there, and the chick was like, he ruptured his intestines. I'm like, what he did? What happened? Yeah, his intestines got ruptured. The doctor said he should never fight again. I'm like, okay, Lacerda's gonna run through this guy. He missed weight by 8 pounds. He had to actually re-weigh in on fight day and had to make 155. Barely made 155. Simon Oliveira potentially needs to get some help. I also put Vicente Luque on there. I think Luque's done. He tried to quit, but Alvarez wouldn't let him. And then I put Stuart Nickel, who forgot how to wrestle, on there. So, all right, going to close this poll number 2, and one of these guys are going to move on. So, in 4th place, Stuart Nickel, 7%. In 3rd place, Simon Oliveira, 18%. In 3rd place, Vicente Luque, 34%. And then 1st place, Osiris Maya moves on to the finals at 41%. What are your thoughts on that list?
Yeah, we had friends over yesterday, and I remember we had just started to eat when the Alvarez fight came on. So I still need to go back and watch how bad the performance was. But I remember seeing the fight get waved off. I was like, cash it, because I had Alvarez in my inside the distance in my probability parlay, and that should have cashed. That would have cashed if he had won inside the distance. So I'm not surprised. I think, and the other thing was, I don't know anybody that wasn't playing Alvarez inside the distance or parlaying it. So it was one of those things that Vegas just had so much liability on, and then it just so happens that there winds up being just a wild set of circumstances to let that thing go the full 15 minutes. So, not surprised to see Osiris Maya on there, but I'm surprised because I had money on Stuart Nickel. Dude, that performance was absolutely pathetic. Lucas Rocha is the smallest flyweight in the division, and his takedown defense is sub-zero. Now, the guy did take a year off, and he must have, because he went to go to shoot to box Diego Lima. He got a lot better in that year off, Lucas Rocha, and now the takedown defense leveled up massively. The get-up game leveled up massively, and Stuart Nickel looked lost out there like he spent the year that he was away from the cage just growing that mustache. And I thought with the mustache looked great, but the rest of the MMA skill set, it looked awful, Brady, awful. So Stuart Nickel, if you had money on him like I did, you made a very embarrassing bet. And Lucas Rocha really kind of rounded out his grappling defense, and now a young man getting better with already dangerous striking and good cardio. So he'll get a lot better, it looks like.
Yeah, I was impressed with Rocha in that fight. All right, so and then poll number 3, part 3 out of 3, I put Jonathan Deniz. I mean,
I had money on him.
I mean, he made Mario Pinto look like Habib Nurmagomedov. It didn't look like a Hamzat Chimaev. I mean, Pinto had never even, I think, attempted a takedown before, and then he came out there and did that to him. Jonathan Deniz potentially needs some help. I put the Brazil Athletic Commission, like we mentioned, in the fact that they let the Simon Oliveira fight happen when he shouldn't be in the cage.
Chicanery.
First and foremost, and then the fact that he came over 8 pounds, probably shouldn't have happened. And then, of course, the Lucas Almeida fight. The whole world knew about the hand injury, and the fight somehow continued. And what happened is kind of what we expected to happen. I put Jason Herzog on there because Jason Herzog, he's been doing better. Herzog's been stopping fights. He's been all for fighter safety. He cashed me a couple bets, down in Chicago. But last night, he let the Almeida fight go a little bit too long. And I'm sure he knew about the hand. I mean, everybody knew about the broken hand, right? And I mean, Michael Aswell just put it on Almeida. The fight should have been stopped just a long, long time ago. And then I also put Irina Alexeyeva on there just because, I don't know, she just needs some help. Irina Alexeyeva. I don't know if you saw it, you go with friends and stuff, but she did her walkout. She started twerking, and it was just disgusting. It was just awful. So I put Irina on there.
She needs help.
Yeah, she just needs some help. So we'll get a couple more votes in here, and then we'll get the finale rolling here. So we'll stop it in 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I'll stop it now. It's really not close. So in fourth place, poll number 3 out of 3, Jason Herzog, believe it or not, 10%. Jonathan Deniz, 23%. Third place in second place is Irina Alexeyeva, 28%. Good amount of votes there. she might need help. And then first place is the Brazil Athletic Commission. So we got our top 4. We got the Brazil Athletic Commission. We got Ricardo Ramos. We got Osiris Maya. And we got Lucas Almeida. So,
dude, did Lucas Almeida piss off the Brazilian mob or something? Because it's like they made him fight with a broken hand. And then they won't stop the fight while he's absolutely getting 7 shades of shit beaten out of him. Herzog waits until he's dead until that fight gets stopped. I mean, they're probably going to fine him now for something else, for not disclosing the broken hand or something. I don't know. It's been a rough day for him.
Yeah, really rough. All right. So, okay. So this is the final. I mean, I think that's a show record. 12 people that potentially need to get some help.
Yeah, I know.
12 people. 12 people. And I could have put Muhammad Usman on there. Usman had to pull out because I think he tested positive for something. Like Usman probably could have been on there. I mean, Mateus Gamrot probably could have been on. A lot of people probably could have been on there for who needs to get some help. So I'll let you guys vote in the poll, and we will do a quick recap of last night. I got this short and sweet. I was sketched out from the beginning, before all the shenanigans on this card, before Oliveira came in 8 pounds overweight, before Lucas Almeida showed up with the broken hand. I wasn't really, feeling the fight. So I kept it short and sweet. There were 3 spots I liked, and I made 4 bets, Wheezy. And I made 4 really good bets. 4 really good bets. The first bet I had 2 bets on the Irina Alexeyeva fight. I had Bia Mesquita to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2. Incredible bet. She almost finished her in round 1. The fight could have been stopped. And then she, of course, took her down in round 2 and submitted her. And the choke was nasty in round 2. So I had Mesquita round 1, round 2 for 1.25 units. And I had a quarter unit on the Mesquita KO prop at plus 650. Ooh. And that fight was very, very close to being stopped. Yeah. I think if Mesquita had maybe 5 to 10 more seconds left in that first round, I would have cashed that KO prop. So very close. Very good read. She has nasty ground and pound. Yes. And Alexeyeva kind of just lays on her back and lets you beat her up. It's just really weird. So yeah, good. I thought it was 2 good bets there. I had 2 units on the Oliveira Gamrot fight doesn't go to decision. I parlayed that with an under from Contender Series. Both came through with flying colors. Even thought about adding on to the under 3.5 rounds in the Oliveira Gamrot fight. And I was telling you earlier in the week, it's like, Why is this set at 3.5? It's a Charles Oliveira fight. Typically I'm always betting Charles Oliveira unders, but I'm betting them at under 2.5s, not 3.5. So that was a spot that instantly jumped out. I didn't hop on it, but it got as low as like minus 108 during the week. But yeah, I needed the fight doesn't go to decision for a winning night. I got it. Charles Oliveira gets the 2nd round submission. And then the other bet I made that I thought was a really good bet, Joe Alvarez to win in rounds 1 or rounds 2. Which he did. I mean, he knocked out Vicente Luque in round 1. The ref waved the fight off. It was a legal strike, and Alvarez knocks out Luque in the first round. And then the second round, Luque quits. He pulls guard, and then he turtles up for the last 4 minutes of the round, proceeds to eat over 100 unanswered elbows and ground strikes. So the fight could have been stopped in round 2. The fight could have been stopped at the end of round 2, before round 3, by either his corner, by the ref, by anybody. Anybody should have probably stopped the fight, but they allowed him to go out there in the 3rd round, and then they kind of just lay there for the last 4 minutes of the fight. It was just a really weird fight, but I thought Alvarez 1-2 was a good bet. Overall, ended up about 0.7-ish units for the night, but it would have been like a 4-unit night if the ref wasn't a fucking idiot. Wheezy, how did UFC Rio go for you?
It was bad, but I had 9.75 units in total bets, and they were all made before weigh-ins, on Friday. And so I'm literally live on Friday afternoon doing just the tip. And I always do a full card breakdown. I do my dog pick. I do the ass shaving of the week, and then I'll do the greasy 4-leg parlay. And then I'll go to this part of the StreamYard where I read the comments, and I'll go and I'll talk to the people in the chat. So I go through my whole card breakdown. I give out my dog pick of the week as Lucas Almeida, and then ass shaving of the week, Charles Oliveira. I give out my greasy 4-leg parlay. Lucas Almeida's money line is in it. And then I start going through the chat, and I catch up to the part where I'm giving out Lucas Almeida as I think he's going to win the fight. And people are like, did you see his hand at weigh-ins? And I'm like, I kind of got mad because I was like, first of all, who the hell is looking at somebody's hand at weigh-ins? Like, I'm like, what do you mean? Did I look at his hand? It's like saying like, you're walking behind a girl with a beautiful ass and she's wearing tight jeans, and then your buddy taps you on the shoulder and goes, did you see the color of her shoes? It's like, no, dumbass, I'm looking at her ass, I'm not looking at her shoes. Well, the hand is all messed up, and they're like, people are like, Wheezy, why are you giving out Lucas Almeida as the dog of the week? He's got a broken hand. I'm like, what do you mean he has a broken hand? Like, they wouldn't let him fight if he has a broken hand. And so I had 1 unit on the Almeida money line. I had 0.75 units on Almeida by decision. So like I had 1.75 units on that fight. I had fight goes to decision for 1 unit for Simon Oliveira versus Luan Lacerda before Oliveira shows up 8 pounds fat, probably injured, and then gets armbarred from guard after 9 minutes have passed by in the fight, and it probably is going to decision. I'm like, wait, did a grown man just get armbarred from guard that actually says he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt? I'm like, did that just fucking happen when I had a fight goes to decision? So it was so weird. Like, I had money on the Almeida fight. I had money on the Oliveira fight. And I lost money on all those fights thinking that they were just going to get canceled. And I just wouldn't even have to hedge out of my – you even called me. You were like, what are we going to do? We had money on Lucas Almeida, Yeah. You hedged out. I was like, I'll hedge out tomorrow. And then, like, I wake up tomorrow and, as well as minus 300. And I'm like, you dumbass Wheezy, why didn't you just hedge out? Because I just didn't think that the fight would ever happen. I'm like, if the guy's got a broken hand, there's no fucking way that he's gonna fight, And then when he was walking out, I'm like, they're really gonna do this. They're really gonna make this guy fight with a broken hand, and everybody knows it. And then Aswell goes out there, who knocks out nobody, by the way, goes out there, absolutely runs through him in a minute. It's fucking crazy. Absolutely crazy. So I had 3 units on Charles Oliveira to win at plus 100. He was my ass shaving of the week. Loved that play. I had the probability parlay with the under 3.5 rounds in the Charles Oliveira fight. The fight starts round 2 for Oliveira versus Lacerda, which hit. And then Joel Alvarez inside the distance was the 3rd leg, which didn't hit. So on paper, I'm down 3.75 units. I never actually hedged out of any of my shit on Bet MMA Tips, but I really only had like a couple of bets that were actually legit on legit fights that weren't fixed. And I won 3 units on Oliveira, and I lost 3 units because I had 1.5 units on Jonata Diniz, who looked awful. But as bad as Diniz looked, Pinto looked awesome. And that dude, it turns out we know now, he can wrestle a little bit. And if he gets on top of you, the guy's got a legit top game. He's got phenomenal ground and pound. He's even got submissions. So, and I want to shout out Couch Warrior, Brady, because I was watching his show after I made the Diniz bet, and he was talking about Pinto. And Pinto's first fight that you can watch on tape is against an 0-0 guy. But if you go and you click on that guy's name, he lost his first fight, but then he won his next 7 fights. And the guy's a legit fighter. And evidently, that's the fight where Pinto wrestles. Good. But because it was against an 0-0 guy, and I didn't click on the name and find out that he wound up actually being a decent fighter, I never watched the fight, and I never realized that Pinto could wrestle because I knew Denise had a shit ground game. I bet against him in the Tybura fight because of that, and won like 3 units. So, I lost 1.5 units on Jonata, and I lost 1.5 units on Stuart Nickel, and that was just that was embarrassing. That was an embarrassing bet. The Denise bet was an embarrassing bet, but I made a great bet on Charles Oliveira, which was kind of washed those bad money line bets out. And then all the rest of it was just a bunch of bullshit. So on to the next one, my man.
I mean, hopefully there's no shenanigans this card. I mean,
I'm not going to count on it, man. And even poor Walter Walker, shenanigans fucked him out of a show check because Muhammad didn't even show up to the fight because he got busted for testosterone, evidently.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much shenanigans. Like, I barely had any action on the card, but I mean, the card just took years off my life with just all the shenanigans. The Almeida situation, the Oliveira situation.
Watching that Montel Jackson fight had to take years off of anybody's life that had money on Montel.
Yeah, I had $0 on it. It's like, I mean, this fight's taken years off my life. I had to watch the Jets this morning.
Oh no,
that took years off. I mean, I couldn't imagine being a Jets fan. I mean, that has to be the worst thing. And I'm a Browns fan, but I mean, what I witnessed today was I think the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I've seen some awful things in my life, but having to sit through a Jets game definitely tops it for sure. Just an awful game. I don't think they even had 100 yards total today, the Jets. So
no, it's still probably their 3rd best offensive game of the year. Let me tell you something, man. The Jets are an absolute disgrace. They're an aberration.
Yeah.
The Jets are football aids. And I've worked with some Jets fans in the past, and like you meet a Jets fan in Illinois, they're some of the worst fucking people walking the face of the planet. They're probably all serial killers. I mean, like, how could you be a fan of that team? I mean, wow. And I'm a Bears fan, Brady.
Yeah.
We haven't done shit since 1985.
Yeah.
And I remember 1985. I watched every fucking game that year. Mike Ditka was the coach. We were phenomenal. And we've sucked since then. And I still laugh at Jets fans. And I mean, like, the Bears have been awful, dude. Awful. And I still laugh at Jets fans. So, man, yeah, that's rough that you had to watch a Jets game, man. That's brutal.
Yeah, because I woke up at 7 and I was like, okay, I'm gonna watch. I'll watch the game. You know, the game starts at 9. And it just took years off my life. Like it was almost as bad as the Montel Jackson performance. I thought almost. All right, let's get through some chats.
Montel Jackson's gonna get signed to the Jets.
He might as well. I mean, I think he'd be one of their best players probably. He has those big hands. I bet he can catch a football.
Yeah, he probably could.
Yeah, absolutely. Throw him out there. All right. Peterson, did you see the Peterson? That was one of the most goofiest knockout losses I've ever seen.
That uppercut, and then Peterson just fell face first. That was a brutal knockout.
Have you ever seen the Peter Griffin meme where he's just like face planted, like arms up in the air? It looked just like that. Let me see if I can pull up that. Here it is. Let me see if I can pull this up. It looked just like this. Just like that. That's how he landed. I think that's when Peter fell down the steps. It looked just like that. But I don't think Peterson was fine. I mean, that was brutal. Got Olajuwon, I believe a fellow Canadian, Olajuwon. So I know he's going to be looking forward to this card. Yeah. Wonder if Olajuwon's going to attend it potentially. Losing to Con Offley is diabolical. Yeah, that's rough, man. I thought Alvarez would KO him. Still would have lost on a sub. I mean, he should have done either or. Could have done either, but he didn't. Yeah, Alex Sava with some just terrible twerking. The ref in the Alvarez fight needs all the help. Agreed. Investigate Osiris Maya. Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I'm just sick of the shenanigans, man. And I was talking about it on my betting breakdown video. I'm like, there's so much shenanigans this week, and there's already so much shenanigans with betting on UFC. You got the judges, a lot of shenanigans with the judges, the referees. But when you add people getting hit by cars, when you add broken hands, when you add fighters missing weight, at a whole different weight class, it just adds more and more shenanigans to the equation. It's like we got enough shenanigans to worry about. I don't want to have to worry about my fighter getting hit by a car or having a broken hand or, getting paint fumes in the locker room or they're too hot because the air conditioning is not working in the arena. I mean, it's just every single week there's more and more shenanigans, and I've had it. There's no other sport where there's this much. If you get hit by a car and if you're an NFL player, you get hit by a car, you're not playing the next day.
Yeah.
Simple as that. Montel Jackson is the American Vinicius Oliveira. I don't know about that. I mean, that performance was
Oliveira is awesome.
Yeah, Oliveira is very entertaining, and that fight was not over under 4.5 wiki feed mentions.
Okay.
I'm smashing the under. I don't think we're gonna get 4.5 anywhere near that. Let's see. We got Dixon Sider saying show is starting. Boys, Brady needs to recharge his respirator because he's on oxygen and life support since the Alvarez fight. I mean, I'm just so numb to the shenanigans by now. I'm just so used to it. It doesn't even surprise me that my fighter won by first round and second round knockout and my bet still lost. It doesn't surprise me. All you can do is, get the reads, make the bets, and it's up to the crooked, corrupt judges and refs to get it right.
Brady.
Yeah.
After just the tip last week on Friday, I walked out and I told my girlfriend, I go, my underdog pick of the week has a broken hand. And my girlfriend goes, well, then why the fuck did you make him the underdog pick of the week? I didn't know. It's just the shenanigans are fucking crazy, man. It's nuts.
Yeah, I told my wife about the broken hand, and she's a medical professional. She's a nurse. I said, should this guy be fighting? And she's like, no. I mean, you shouldn't be fighting. Crap.
Crazy.
Okay, let's keep moving on. I thought I saw a ghost. All right, we got Dr. Peener in the building. Whichever doctor was checking people's hands needs some help. You can't see that cantaloupe on homie's wrist. It's some corruption, man. Just some corruption. Osiris Maya get some help. Almeida looked terrible. He did. Yeah, Aswell KO is as high as plus 460.
Yeah.
We got Mike James reposted the stream, and by the way, look how handsome Mike James is looking. And we get to see Verna fight for a title against Mackenzie Dern in the very near future. Brazil is corrupt. There was some corruption going on. Montel Jackson chokes in big fights. Well, he's going to get back to fighting, the Jesse Straters of the world, the JP Bazes of the world. He's really good at beating those guys. I bet Alvarez by Darce and first round. He had a couple Darce attempts I saw in the second round. Simon Oliveira needs the most help out of this list. Osiris Maya needs to be investigated the most out of this list. Yeah, I was actually saying that Jason Herzog might even be a better referee than Osiris Maya. And that's saying an absolute lot. Irina Alexeyeva wins the third poll strictly based on the twerking. What the F is that? It was just disgusting. I knew once she started twerking, my bet was going to cash. I mean, Bia was going to finish this bitch. We got Narco Cop in the building. What is up, Narco Cop? And yeah, I mean, Irina was posing with the UFC belt. I mean, that's not good. Rumors are that he was involved in a verbal altercation with his girl and he punched something, breaking his hand. What the heck? That's wild.
God. That's the most Brazilian thing in the world.
A verbal altercation.
Yeah, they're a passionate people. They really are passionate people, and they argue, they punch walls, and then they make up, and then they go samba. It's something else, but it's just so dumb that he was able to fight with a broken hand in 2025 when millions of dollars are gambled on each fight. The commissions allow that to happen is amazing.
I mean, it wouldn't happen in Vegas, but since it was in Brazil, they allowed the shenanigans to take place. We got Fort Cod Minecraft with the 199 saying, appreciate you, Brady. Appreciate you, Weezy. We appreciate you, Fort Cod Minecraft. Thank you for hanging out, and thank you for the dono. And I want to apologize, guys. I'm trying to get through these comments as quickly as possible. Don't want to go.
I'm filling up my water, my man. Yep. Be right back.
All right, that altercation doesn't sound verbal. Yeah. I mean, maybe I might have punched a wall or something. Did you guys hit the prop bet for Peterson doing the Johnny Walker blowing out his shoulder remote KO loss? I did not. I did not see a line on that. But all right. So what we'll do now is we're going to close this poll. And it's really it's kind of close, and it's actually interesting. The winner for who needs to get help, the top two, they're not fighters. So 12% in fourth place is Lucas Almeida. In third place with 17% is Ricardo Ramos. Second place is Osiris Maya. And then in first place, believe it or not, is the Brazil Athletic Commission. So Brazil Athletic Commission, get some help, get it together. That was disgusting. Damn things that should be Simon Oliveira. And you can make a strong case for a lot of these guys this week. You can make a case for Alex Sava. You can make a case for Oliveira. Luque. Alvara. I mean, you can make a case for so many people. But the people have spoken, and they said it was the Brazil Athletic Commission, and I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
They employ Osiris Maya.
Yeah. True.
So if Osiris Maya needs help, well, then what the hell are these guys doing employing Osiris Maya? So we got a sharp chat here. That's I think they got this call right.
Yep. But we also got a couple calls right, Weezy. So, as you know, we do the parlay of the week, the milking of the week, the piping of the week. We went 3-0. So the milking of the week was Walter Walker to milk the bad Usman this Saturday. I count that as a win. I mean, this guy Usman, he popped for something, had to pull out of the fight. I count it as a milking, right? I mean, you got to. He didn't show up.
No, he didn't even show up, and he had to take steroids to even have a chance, and then he got caught. He got caught cheating because he knew he was going to get milked.
I do think it's some bullshit. I mean, Muhammad Usman, this guy's not taking steroids. There's no way.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it, right?
Not this guy who has muscles on his muscles. I mean, oh my gosh.
And was he in the African army 60 years ago?
That's a different Muhammad Usman.
Oh, okay. All right. I was going to say, it's weird.
Yeah, I guess there's another Muhammad Usman that's in the army. But yeah, I mean, this guy's not doing steroids. I think that's just a load of bullshit.
Yeah, dude, it's
fake news.
Yeah, he looks soft to me.
Yeah, bullshit. So either way, I mean, Walter Walker, he milked Usman. Usman didn't even show up to the cage. I count that as a win. The piping. I mean, Joel Alvarez to pipe poor Vicente Luque on site this Saturday. We were right halfway. I mean, Luque is poor Vicente Luque. I mean, this guy shouldn't be fighting ever again. And he did finish him twice, but officially was not able to find the finish. So it was almost the piping, kind of, not really. But at the end of the day, Alvarez got the job done, but not kind of the piping we're looking for. We were kind of looking for, Luque kind of getting stretchered out of the cage type piping, but that wasn't the case. Kind of looked like Alvarez was showing a little bit of mercy, which, it is what it is. And then the parlay hit, Weezy. We had leg number 1, Charles Oliveira. Leg number 2, Joel Alvarez.
Easy.
There we go.
Easy work.
Both legs came through with very flying colors. So there we go.
And what a performance by Charles Dubronx Oliveira. I mean, he made it look easy against Gamrot and actually gets the takedown in the second round and gets to his back and finishes with the RNC. Fantastic stuff.
Absolutely. That was awesome. We got Moy saying Irina clearly bipolar. I mean, something's wrong with her. I mean, with a haircut like that, you got something going on. Yeah, I mean, if they're not showing up, we're taking our wins. We got Dr. Peener, became a member for 2 months. Said, I like to propose that Charlie Olives both piped and milked Gamrot, pilked him. I can see it. See it. It was definitely more of a probably milking than a piping, but yeah, he took him down, beat him up on the feet, and submitted him. It was a great performance. Appreciate you, Dr. Peener. Good to see you in here as always. But we got to get to some fights, guys. We're about 40 minutes in. We haven't talked about anything yet, and we're going to get into the first fight. It is Melissa Croden going against Tainara Lisboa. And so I watched the fights yesterday. It was a long day. I woke up at 6:30 a.m. in the morning. It was just a long day. Had to watch the kid. Had to watch the puppy. I mean, having a kid, a toddler, and a puppy is just it's nearly impossible. But I had to do it. I had to do it all day, and you had to watch all the bullshit throughout the night. And then at the end of the night, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna tape some fights. And then I start taping Melissa Croden, and I'm sitting there. And I'm like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my life? Like, my friends are all out, having fun, at the bar, and I'm watching Melissa Croden fight. It's like, what am I doing? I'm not really sure what Melissa Croden's doing here, other than this card being in Canada.
Yeah.
I was impressed with some things. I do think she has that dog in her. She's going to come forward. She's going to push you against the cage. She doesn't have the best wrestling, but if she can get you down, she does have some very good ground and pound. And I think I am leaning her way just because Tainara Lisboa, I'm just not sure what she's good at. Apparently, she has a striking background, but I haven't seen, the best striking yet thus far in the UFC. The grappling looked just god awful in the Luana Santos fight. Melissa Croden, hometown fighter, like I said, got that dog in her. She's going to be in your face. She's going to come forward. She's going to push you against the cage. If she can't get you down, she can have some success. But I was not that impressed with Croden. I think it's a pass or pass fight for me. I will not be touching this one with a 10-foot pole. I was kind of surprised at the line. I think it should be, never mind. Money poured in on Croden. Holy crap. So when I taped Croden last night, Weezy, she was plus 140. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, there's probably some value on her, but now she's plus 105. So, yeah, I'm definitely staying away. I'm leaning ever so slightly with the hometown fighter in a fight that I probably won't be watching, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, Croden, the hometown fighter here. Well, I mean, she's Canadian. I mean, Canada's a huge country, so I don't know how close she is to Vancouver, but this is her UFC debut, and she's fighting somebody that's really coming off a career worst performance.
Ugh.
That was just... Yeah, that was really bad, and I had money on Lisboa there. That was a very embarrassing bet because she was nowhere even close to winning that fight. I still think that Luana Santos is just okay. So the fact that I bet on Lisboa against her at plus money, I felt like if she could keep the fight standing, that she would look pretty good on the feet against her. But and that's what Lisboa is. She's like a world Muay Thai champion, I think, or something like that.
That's what they say.
Yeah, so she's got striking. That's what her that's where she wins most of her fights. But the problem is we've seen at the UFC level that her ground game isn't any good. And if you look at the stats here, she's only spent 23.7% of her 39.3 minutes that she's been in the UFC octagon at distance striking range. So she's spending over 75% of her octagon time either in the clinch on the fence or on the mat. And if she's not in the clinch, like landing better dirty boxing, she's probably not going to win a lot of minutes at this level. So, but she's still at least has more experience than Croden does and has a strength of schedule advantage over Croden. But Melissa has fought a decent level of competition. I did only see one of her fights. It was against Jacqueline Cavalcanti, who's a very talented striker, and she got outstruck in that fight. It wasn't surprising, but like you said, Brady, she's got that dog in her. She will go forward. She's going to push a pace. So this should be a fun fight. But yeah, I mean, if it's a fight where I don't really want money on either, like I don't want to bet on Lisboa after having money on her last time against Santos, because that was like as pathetic of a performance as Stuart Nickel put out yesterday against Rocha. So it's a pass fight for me, but I still need to look more into Croden.
Yeah, I mean, if I put any money on this fight, I'd be just shocked. I mean, I'd have to get possessed. If I get possessed this week, I might put money on it, but outside of that, I'm not. So hopefully I don't get possessed. Yeah, both fighters, no Melissa Croden on WikiFeet and no Tainara Lisboa on WikiFeet, which I was kind of surprised with no Lisboa on WikiFeet. You would think she'd be on there, but
yes, already 3 UFC fights, so you'd think.
Apparently not. I mean, so we'll have to see. Maybe after this fight, they'll get her on there. We got Saja saying, I like Croden this week. Lisboa cannot disengage from the clinch to save her life, and Croden is very strong. There she is. I think that was her best attribute, was the clinch work. She can hold you there. The majority of the fights I've watched, especially the last couple, she's doing a lot of just clinch work, just holding her opponents in the clinch type thing.
Okay.
And I just don't think Lisboa's just that great. Alexa Thayanara Lisboa. Alexa Thayanara is so much better than Lisboa that it's crazy. It's insane. We got Steven's Picks in the building. Great show as always, fellas. Like and subscribe, everyone. Appreciate you, Steven's Picks. We got Gabriella69 saying, hey guys, is this the Osiris Maya fan club? I'm not a fan of that guy. I'd like to have a word with that guy, Osiris Maya. I think I might start trying to learn some Portuguese just in case I run into Maya one day, because I have some words for him, some very strong words. Croden has a huge strength and physicality advantage. Yeah, and I think that strength and physicality advantage could potentially win her this fight. We could see some clinch work. We could see a close fight, and if it's close, goes to these Cricket Club judges. It probably goes to the Canadian. But I don't know. I wasn't that impressed with Croden. Seems like the Canadian cards seem to rotate from all Canadians lose to all Canadians win. I think they all won last time. Yeah, so there was one card where they all lost, and then you're right, the last card they all did very well. So we'll see if we'll see if they all lose this time. We'll see. All right. So yeah, the line Lisboa opened up minus 275.
Whoa.
Wow. Currently minus 125. Croden opened up plus 235. Currently plus 105. They do have a total here. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 210. The under 2.5 is plus 180. I think it probably goes over unless Croden is able to get on top. She does have some good ground and pound, and she is a finisher, but kind of leaning it to go over. And again, a fight I don't have a ton of interest in. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Azamat Bekoev going against Yursi Belgaroui. We got Bekoev, 29 years old, 5'11" with a 72-inch reach. Belgaroui, 33 years old, 6'5" with a 79-inch reach. We got Bekoev 4 years younger. Belgaroui with a 6-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. Bekoev is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Zach Reese. Won that fight by first-round knockout. Knocked out Ryan Loder in the first round as well. As far as Belgaroui, this guy's 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He lost a decision to Marco Tullio on the Contender Series, and then he ended up getting a knockout win in the second round in his second Contender Series fight. So we have, I believe, a pretty big favorite here in Bekoev. He's sitting at minus 255. And yeah, I think Belgaroui is a very good striker. I mean, this guy is huge, 6'5", 79-inch reach. This guy he has a kickboxing background. The striking is pretty dang good. But, in his 3 losses, went back and watched all 3 of those losses. And in 2 out of those 3, his opponents are taking him down. We saw Marco Tullio, who's primarily a striker, went out there and started taking this guy down. Saw another dude start taking down Belgaroui. And I kind of feel like that might be in the game plan here for Bekoev, who has shown the ability to wrestle and is a decent wrestler. Hasn't really shown it thus far in the UFC, but he hasn't really needed to because he's knocking out Loder and Reese in the first round. But I think on the feet, Bekoev probably has the power advantage. This guy hits hard, Bekoev, but Belgaroui's going to have a big reach advantage. And like I said, Belgaroui's a very good striker with really good volume. So I think Bekoev, if he wrestles here, could potentially pay off this price tag. Belgaroui doesn't have the best takedown defense, doesn't have the best get-up game. So I'm leaning Bekoev. And I'm not the biggest fan of Bekoev, to be honest, but I do think he's getting a lot better. I think the power is real. So I like Bekoev. Not sure I love him at minus 255, though, but as far as a pick, I'm leaning his way. What are your thoughts on this fight, Weezy?
Yeah, it's definitely striker versus grappler here. Yusri needs to keep this on the feet. And even if he does, man, Azamat swings for the fences when he – I mean, like, that guy is looking to take your head off, and why not? He's a wrestler. You can use – when you throw those heavy overhand rights, you can kind of use that to set up takedown attempts as well. Get your opponent's hands up, trying to block that overhand right, and then shoot in on the hips. And I think he's going to be able to get takedowns here. I think he's got, obviously, the strength to schedule advantage over Belgaroui, but Yusri fought like some of the best kickboxers in the world. This guy's got 3 fights against Alex Pereira. He's got a couple fights against Donovan Wisse. He's got a couple. I mean, like, you look at all the recognizable names in Glory Kickboxing, this guy's fought all of them. And he's even got a win over Alex Pereira in kickboxing. So this guy is a legit on-the-feet threat, and he trains with Teixeira MMA. So, this is a guy who's working with Alex Pereira in the gym. So he's coming off, Pereira just fought. So that gym's been hot, and these guys have been working hard, getting ready for fights. So it could be really interesting here because while I obviously favor Bekoev's wrestling and grappling, and if he gets takedowns against this guy, Belgaroui is going to have a hard time getting back to his feet, and he's probably going to eat a lot of damage on the ground as well. And then also, Brady, I worry because when you have somebody that's as dominant of a wrestler as Bekoev, that if you're that kickboxer standing across from him, you're not going to be able to throw as much volume as you normally would, and you might have to kind of like change you have to throw a lot more body shots. You have to throw a lot more uppercuts, a lot more stuff up the middle to kind of discourage them from shooting. So I think it's going to slow down Usry's offensive volume. And I also think that Bekoev can maybe land big shots on the feet as well and have that threat of the wrestling. So I definitely favor Bekoev to win the fight. And he's looked very impressive thus far with his wins over Loder and Reese. But, you know, he got a win over Lucas Fernando in LFA, which was a title fight. He's got a split decision win over Dylan Budker. You know, he's got some decent and then he was fighting an ACB before that against some killers over there. And he's finished 16 of his 20 wins. So the guy, while there was a stretch there in LFA where he wasn't finishing fights, he was finishing fights before that, and now he's finishing fights again. So Bekoev has definitely got a ton of momentum coming into this fight, going up against a UFC debutant here. So I like Bekoev quite a bit.
Yep. I think he gets it done. Just has more ways to win. Can kind of dictate where this fight takes place. And yeah, so I like Bekoev as well. All right. So yeah, we got Bekoev. He opened up minus 500, believe it or not. He's now minus 255. As far as Belgaroui, he opened up plus 385. He's currently plus 215. So some money coming in on Belgaroui at big plus odds. The over under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 185. The under 1.5 is plus 161. Bekoev by Twitter War. Yeah, is he one of those big on Twitter guys? Bekoev? I think he might be on there. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the cappers might be arguing this one this week because it is a striker versus grappler, and because Usry's got a little bit of hype on him having that high level kickboxing background, training with Glover and Alex.
I thought the Twitter War might be like the Holland Malott fight. That's a good one.
Yeah, that'll probably, it's usually those closer ones, where you have to kind of take a side on those pick'em type fights, and there's good arguments on both sides.
Yeah, I haven't really been on Twitter today, so I have no clue who's going to war. Let me know. You got to respect Azamat's hustle. Can't fade him yet. I'm not fading him yet. I mean, this guy looks pretty dang good. Yeah. Poor Weston Will. Yeah, poor West. Has he woken up yet? I mean, he got knocked out by that grappler a couple months ago, right?
Oh, I forgot who it was already.
Got knocked out by some grappler, right? I think me and you both cashed the KO prop.
I think so. That's right. Because we were like, even he can knock him out. Oh God, who was it? Damn it! I gotta look. Fighters.
He's on. I think.
Weston Wilson just lost to Yi Zhan.
Yeah, it's crazy.
2 knockdowns on 13 significant strikes, and it only took him 37 seconds.
It's ridiculous. We got Brian in the building. Thanks for all the videos you post in your time. The videos with all the numbers breakdowns help the most. Appreciate you, Brian, for stopping in here. He's you got it done, man. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Stephanie Luciano going against Ravenna Oliveira. We got Luciano, 25 years old, 5'6" with a 65-inch reach. Oliveira, 28 years old, 5'5" with a 65-inch reach. We got Luciano, 3 years younger, 1-inch height advantage, and they got the same reach there. Luciano is 3-1 and 1 draw in her last 5 fights. She had that draw against Talita Alencar, and then she proceeded to avenge that draw and get a pretty dominant decision win against Alencar the next fight, and then had a split decision loss to Sam Hughes in her not her UFC debut, the fight after her UFC debut. As far as Oliveira, she made her debut against Tainara Lisboa and lost that fight by decision, which is it's not good. And I was kind of surprised whenever Oliveira first came into the UFC because there's like no tape on this chick, and the same thing. I think there's only like 2 or 3 available fights on Ravenna Oliveira. And yeah, she looks decent, but if you're losing to Tainara Lisboa, I kind of question your ceiling going forward. She still is, young-ish, 28 years old. She could be making improvements, and I think she has made improvements the last couple of years, but I'm very high on Stephanie Luciano. She has very good cardio, very good output. She's been working on the takedown defense. I mean, the takedown defense between the first Alencar fight and the second Alencar fight, it was just night and day. She's only 25 years old. I think she's making massive improvements each and every time. So I think it's a really good fight for Luciano. It's another striker versus a grappler matchup where Oliveira needs to get this fight down to the ground. And I mean, in theory, Oliveira definitely has a path here. If she's able to take down Luciano, we saw Alencar do it in the first fight. We saw, Sam Hughes do it as well. So yeah, Oliveira does have a path, so I don't want to completely roll her out, but I just think Luciano is just a much, much better fighter. So I like Luciano. I'm assuming she's a pretty big favorite here. Minus 335, which it's definitely a hefty price tag, but I do lean her way, and I think she gets it done. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I would not be laying that kind of money on Stephanie Luciano. I still think that the jury's still very much out on this young lady. I think that her striking got extremely overrated because she fought Talita Alencar twice. And people are like, wow, like her striking looks good. Well, then she went out there against Sam Hughes and lost. And, Sam Hughes is a really tough opponent. Obviously, getting that in your second UFC fight and going to a split decision with her, that's not bad at all. Because Sam, I think I was looking at Sam Hughes. I think she's like 6-2 over her last 8 fights. Did you know that?
Yeah, she's really good.
She's really turned it up and put together a nice streak. And Luciano got at only 25 years of age. She's going to be making improvements. The striking looks okay. And she looks fairly well-rounded. Like she can do a little bit on the ground if you open up your hips and you allow her to get to there. She can probably get takedowns and win a little bit there, but she's not going to want to do that against Oliveira, who's going to be looking to grapple here. Only 18% of Ravenna Oliveira's UFC debut was spent at distance striking range. So I don't know how comfortable she's going to be there at this level. So I think Stephanie will look to keep this standing. But the thing with Ravenna that we got to keep in mind is that she's only 28 years old and she's on a 2-year layoff, Brady. 2-year layoff. So, that can be good and bad when you're making that layoff in your 20s. Because sometimes like Lucas Rocha was on a 1-year layoff coming into this fight, and he looked much improved from the Carpenter fight to the Nickel fight in terms of his grappling, just his defense in general. And his chin looked great, by the way. It looked like Nickel was actually landing some decent shots on the feet, and Rocha just was eating them like they were nothing. He didn't look stunned by any of them. But anyway, that's a different fight. So, yeah, I think that Oliveira's 2-year layoff is something that you kind of need to think about, because we've seen some of these ladies. Like, do you remember when we saw Melissa Gatto make her debut? And, you would see the tape on her and you're like, God, she's not very good. And then she made that UFC debut after like a 2.5-year layoff, and she looked like a completely different fighter. So we could potentially see big improvements from Ravenna Oliveira at only 28 years old on a 2-year layoff. But Luciano's been the much more active fighter, and she looks like she's a decent prospect, and she's younger. So younger and more active is something that I want to support. And not only that, 18.3 distance strike attempts per minute for Stephanie Luciano. She throws a lot of volume out there, and that's really important in ladies' fights where you don't see a lot of power shots landing. So like the volume, like the youth, like the takedown defense of Luciano, and hopefully if she keeps this fight standing, she should be able to maybe not look minus 350, but, comfortably win the fight for the people that back her.
Yeah, if she does stuff the takedown, she will look minus 350, but she could get taken down here or there is the thing. But yeah, Luciano, she opened up minus 325. She's now minus 335. And then as far as Oliveira, she opened up plus 275, currently plus 275. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 280. The under 2.5 is plus 230 there. I will not be touching this fight, but I think Luciano wins and wins quite comfortably. But you're right. Oliveira could come up and look like a completely different fighter. We don't know, but you got to assume she's probably making improvements. So I actually think Sam Hughes looked career best in that Luciano fight, and Oliveira lost to Lisboa. I've got Luciano comfortably. The under 2.5 might be good here at big plus money. So I remember I sprinkled the KO 2-3 for the second Alencar fight, and Luciano drops Alencar and kind of lets her up. But I guess she has a little bit of power, but I kind of lean it going the distance. Yeah, 2 women's matchups in this card and no WikiFeet ratings on all 4 fighters. It's ridiculous. That's So Ravenna Oliveira. Get it? I get it. I used to watch That's So Raven. Is a pretty good show. I'm so hungover from UFC Rio. I feel it. Both Brazilians may be good. This fight is at 115.
I believe so. They're both strawweights, as far as I know.
It's at strawweight. Yep.
Okay.
As it should be. All right. We'll move on to the next fight. It's going to be Kyle Preplec, Canadian, going against Drew Dober. We got Preplec, 36 years old, 5'10" with a 70-inch reach. Drew Dober, 36 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Drew Dober, same age, 2-inch height disadvantage, got the same reach there as well. Kyle Preplec is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. So he fought in the UFC years back. He got cut, and they brought him back, and they gave him to Benoit Saint-Denis. Come on. And then as far as Drew Dober, he is 1-4 in his last 5 fights. Lost to Matt Fvola by knockout. He knocked out Ricky Glenn. He lost to Renato Moicano by decision, Gene Silva by knockout, and Manuel Torres by knockout. So for me personally, I'm not touching this fight with a 10-foot pole. We talk about it time and time again. Once the chin goes, it goes. It's gone. I mean, Drew Dober relied on his entire career, getting into a war, going chin for chin, and taking big shots and eating big shots, taking damage, not going down. Well, his chin finally cracked in the Matt Fvola fight. And then since then, he's 1-3. The Ricky Glenn, I mean, that's not a real win. Ricky Glenn shouldn't have been in there. That fight shouldn't have been sanctioned. Lost to Moicano. He took a beating against Gene Silva. I mean, you talk about the damage from Dober. I mean, he took a ton of damage from Gene Silva in their fight. Fight had been stopped due to a cut. And then he got knocked out by Manuel Torres in the first round. So, I think it's a very favorable matchup for Dober. I mean, he should win against this guy, Preplec. It's pretty much a striker versus striker matchup. Both guys going to be looking to keep it standing. I really just can't stomach laying -500 on Drew Dober, really against anybody. He should win this fight, but I do think his career is coming to an end. I mean, this guy's almost 37 years. He's turning 37, I think, in a week, right?
Yes, sir.
Turning 37 in a week. This guy has 43 fights, 43 wars. I think the damage is starting to add up. I think the chin is no longer there. And I think laying -500 is a very dangerous game. I don't care how bad Kyle Preplec is. So this is a borderline 100 gambler fight. I got to pick Dober just because he's the much better fighter, but I'm not laying -500 on him. I mean, just that kind of seems ridiculous to me.
I think Preplec's the side. I think Drew Dober is completely fucking turbo washed.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he is absolutely turbo washed. And I mean, I don't even know what he's good at anymore because this guy was somebody who just he's like Vicente Luque.
Yeah, maybe almost as bad. Like Dober's not going to quit type. He's not there yet, but he's getting there.
Yeah, but Luque was a guy who depended on that chin and would drag you into a war. And if you weren't ready for that war, you were going to lose. And he put on these exciting fights. Well, it's the same exact thing with Drew Dober. Drew Dober's never he's not one punch knocking out a lot of dudes. I mean, he does have power, but this is a southpaw versus southpaw matchup. And if you want to know who wants this fight more, I guarantee it's Preplec. That guy signed on the dotted line on 3 days' notice to fucking fight Benoit Saint-Denis, man. That's crazy. And there's not a lot of people that would be crazy enough to do that. And even Preplec, when he was in the UFC and he lost to Austin Hubbard, did you know that Austin Hubbard went to the hospital that night and had compartment syndrome in his calf? And they were talking about he was very close to having his fucking leg amputated. So Hubbard won that fight, but Preplec kicked his fucking ass and almost fucking took his leg, literally. I laying -400 on this version of Drew Dober in 2025, getting knocked out by Manuel Torres, dude, Drew Dober is one of the most handsome guys in the UFC. Dude, he came out of that Gene Silva fight looking like Virna Jandiroba.
Yeah, agree.
Dude, it was bad, man. His whole face was completely rearranged. And I remember that Torres fight. Torres is obviously a very dangerous guy, but Dober just got 1-2 and it was fucking over. Dude, I mean, I might even take a shot on Preplec at this price because I think Drew Dober is fucking washed. He's been in too many wars, Brady. Father Time is undefeated. And when you go off the cliff in this sport, when you were fighting like Drew Dober's been fighting his entire career, I mean, you could go back 10 years and watch this guy absorb 100 significant strikes and fights and just like be like, holy shit, that was an awesome fight. But as a gambler, you can't be backing guys on the back nine of their career who have taken a ton of damage, who aren't going to be able to go out there and win minutes with wrestling, who aren't going to be able to go out there and just like one punch dead you. So I mean, Kyle Preplec's never been knocked out. He's got 27 professional fights. At this point, he might be the guy who's the harder hitter with the better chin. And that's no joke.
Yeah, Preplec has a really good chin. He's never been knocked out. He can take a shot. So yeah, I mean, minus 500, it's silly. I mean, skill for skill, who's the better fighter, Dober? But
yeah,
I mean, I think he's getting into the washed conversation for sure. Absolutely. And
it's because of his style. It's not because he sucks or anything like that. It's just because Drew has fought that way for so long. This guy's never shied away from a war ever, and it catches up with you.
Yeah, so I don't like the money line, and I agree. If I was betting this fight, it's definitely a dog or pass. I don't know if I will, but even like the total, it's like they got the over under set at 2.5. The under 2.5 is minus 160. Are we going to rely on Drew Dober to be the first person to knock out Preplec? Is that what they're thinking? Because I'm not convinced that happens.
It's at 2.5. I had it at 1.5.
Yeah, it looks like it's at 2.5, and the under 2.5 is minus 160.
I'm still showing on Bet Online that it's 1.5 for Preplec Dober. The under 1.5 is plus 145.
What?
The over 1.5 is minus 165. And my model has that shaded to the under, obviously. And it has it as just being a little bit overpriced at plus 145 for the under 1.5, according to the benchmark and according to the 28 combined UFC fights of these guys. But Preplec has never had a UFC fight that went under 1.5 rounds.
Like, that shocks me. That's at 1.5, to be honest. But
it's going to be a war, though. These guys are going to beat the piss out of each other.
It'll be a war. Prepelec's super durable. That's why I don't agree with the violence here. I mean, maybe Dober's the first one to knock him out, but I don't know. Probably not touching this fight. But yeah, on fight odds, they have it set at 2.5 for some reason. Fight odds, get it together. Get it together.
Oh, yeah. They sometimes they just don't.
Yeah, sometimes they have the wrong line up there. All right. Drew Dober has swung his dick a few times too many. Yeah, he has. We see it time and time again. Kyle here to ruin every chalk parlay or every Canada parlay. Yeah, he's going to ruin something. Dober was very competitive against Moicano just 2 fights ago. I mean, it wasn't
that was a great fight, and I think Dober made a mistake in round 3 and tried to grapple with Moicano.
Yeah,
wound up on the bottom, and that fight was 1-1 going into the third. So he's absolutely right. That was a competitive fight, But I mean, I don't know, man. Dober looks done to me.
Yeah. Kyle fighting with that hate in his heart might be live if Dober is washed. There you go. Prepelec's never been knocked out. He hasn't. Dober's about to start his title round, Wheezy. What are you talking about? No.
If Fluffy says so, I'm on board, man.
Listen to this wild stat from Dan. He says Drew Dober only has 1 more career KO than Preplec. That is a wild stat.
That is wild. No, wait. Drew Dober's got 14 knockouts and Prepelec's got 10, according to my stats.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. But let's go Preplec. Let's go. Eileen Perez's butthole in the building, which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I don't recommend. He says, thing is, Dober's been fighting against some big hitters. That's true. I know the damage has occurred, but Preplec isn't one of those big hitters like Gene, Torres, etc. You got that right. I want to look at finish only for people, for Preplec, potentially. He's talking about KOs.
Yeah, well, the thing is that Tapology has Dober with 11 knockouts, but Sherdog has him with 14. And so there's a difference between those two sites. And when I load my fighter profiles, I do it from Sherdog and not from Tapology just because it's easier to cut and paste. So if there's a difference between Sherdog and Tapology, my stats will show the Sherdog finish totals.
Drew has 11 KO wins and 3 KO losses, so that equals 14. Yeah, he's been knocked out 3 times now. I mean, they're starting to add up.
4 according to my stats.
Oh.
That's according to Sherdog. So Sherdog actually has him 14-4 to the knockout, 6-4 to the submission. So sometimes you get these in way early in their career, there's actually some differences like as to whether they won by submission or knockout in a certain fight.
Yeah, there is. Hope you all are well. Did you hear Bisping arguing with the other commentator during the UK fight? Very odd of him. I did hear that. I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but it is what it is. All right, so yeah, sketchy fight. I mean, minus 500 on Drew Dober.
Eesh.
Best of luck. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
It's going to be a great fight. That's going to be a really fun fight. Preplec Dober, they're going to beat the hell out of each other.
Yep. Speaking of fun fight, we got Danny Barlo going against Jordane Santos. We got Danny Barlo, 38 years old, 6'2" with a 79-inch reach. Santos, 28 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. We got Santos 2 years younger. Barlo, 2-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Barlo is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Josh Quinlan. I went back and watched that fight last night. Jason Herzog, get some help. Remember that? This guy almost killed poor Josh Quinlan in the 3rd round, had him wobbling around the cage, dropped him 3 times, and Herzog finally stopped the fight. I'm like, what are you doing, Jason Herzog? He knocked out poor Raheem Forrest in the 1st round, had him doing the stanky leg also, beat Nikolai Veretinikov by decision, and then got knocked out by Sam Patterson his last time out. As far as the Jordane Santos, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He was a massive underdog on the Contender Series against Will Curry, won that fight by decision, and then he lost the decision to Ozzy Diaz. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think Jordane Santos is that great. I think, the fact that he got a contract, I thought he was one of the worst fighters that season, but he beat Will Curry, who's just so bad. I mean, Will Curry's so overrated. It's disgusting. And he went out there and beat Will Curry, and it was a good upset. But I'm just not sure he's that great. He went out there against Ozzy Diaz, and he made Ozzy Diaz look like Muhammad Ali out there. It was ridiculous. Lost the decision there, got hurt really bad in the 3rd round. And I think people might be a little bit low on Barlo after he got knocked out against Patterson. But, I mean, Patterson has a ton of power. Patterson is a legit fighter and a lot better than, Jordane Santos. So, I think these guys are going to swing dicks. Just like the last fight, I think these guys are going to swing dicks. Santos doesn't really have much power. Barlo does. They call him left hand to God. I went back and watched some of these Barlo fights, and this guy literally kills people. Yeah. Some of the guys he's knocking out, they literally have to bring in a stretcher. The fight, the videos are lasting 10, 15 minutes longer than they should because the guy won't get up when this guy knocks you out. I mean, this guy, Barlo, has a ton of power. This guy, Santos, is extremely hittable, leaves a ton of openings, gets very sloppy. I think Barlo probably knocks him out. I like Barlo here. The line does indicate that he's a pretty big favorite here, sitting at minus 300. And to be honest, I think if he didn't get knocked out by Patterson, he'd be an even much bigger favorite. But yeah, I like Barlo. There's no reason he should lose to this guy. I mean, there's no excuse. Like Jordane Santos, he's not going to out grapple him. He's not going to out wrestle him. I don't think Santos has a ton of power. I mean, Barlo really shouldn't lose this fight. I mean, if Barlo lost to Patterson, it is what it is. But if he loses the Jordane Santos, I'd be quite surprised. Weezy, what are your thoughts about this fight?
Yeah, I mean, it appears that Sam Patterson's power is for real. I've faded him last time out. Who did Sam Patterson just knock out?
Trey Waters, right?
Yeah, and I bet on Waters.
Durable. Waters,
because and he was, and he still didn't actually put him on the canvas and out because Waters is extremely durable. But God, did he he turned his brain into a cabbage, man. I didn't realize, I thought maybe that it was a little bit fluky, that knockout over Barlo. But man, Sam Patterson, that dude's on it because you go to the ground with that guy and he wraps up submissions real quick. And now he's flashing power on the feet. The guy's always had great measurables and great cardio. So yeah, I think because Barlo is coming off of that loss about 7 months ago that, you might be getting a little bit of a discount on him, but he is moving up to middleweight here. And that's something we need to be aware of. This is going from 170 up to 185, Brady. That's a big deal. And this guy, Jordan Santos, like Barlo is somebody that's kind of low output. He's a sniper, you know. Jordan Santos isn't going to let you be a sniper because he's just going to stay in your face. He really doesn't care if he gets hit. He's going to march you down. He's going to put you on the back foot. And if he can mix in some wrestling here against a guy in Barlo that we really haven't seen defend any takedowns yet at the UFC level, very interesting matchup in my opinion, because with Barlo moving up in weight here to fight Santos, with Santos's pressure, I think that this could get a little bit weird at points, but I'm seeing the same thing that you're seeing, Brady, that like obviously Santos's defense is ass and Barlo's a sniper. So if he lands that clean straight left hand, it might be nighty night. Keep your butthole tight for Mr. Jordan Santos. But if he doesn't land that, or if the power isn't translating or precision isn't translating as much up at 185, because I kind of always like, I didn't look like Barlo was like this massive welterweight, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe he was just fighting other really big welterweights, so he didn't look huge to me. But I'm interested to see how he looks up at 185, and I'm interested to see how he deals with that constant forward pressure of Jordan Santos, knowing that he does need space and he likes to be precise and manage distance.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Jordan Santos probably could make welterweight. I mean, this guy is a very small middleweight. Jordan, I don't even think he's 6 foot. I think he's probably lying about that. Probably
yeah, and Barlo's taller and longer too. So yeah,
it's probably like 5'11", maybe 5'10". But yeah, I just think that Santos is gonna just leave a lot of openings. Eat one to give one. It just seems like a bad recipe for success in this fight here. We have Barlo opened up minus 300, currently minus 300. Jordan Santos opened up plus 250, currently plus 250. The over-under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 plus 130. The under 2.5 is minus 150 there. Anyone know? No, Stephanie Luciano does not have a wiki feet. I don't think there's any wiki feet fighters on this card potentially. It's disgusting.
They're gonna have to get some more UFC wins before they get any love on wiki feet.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah,
Barlo's going to pipe Santos on site. Barlo got the right hand from God last. Yeah, that's true. That's true. The Sam Patterson fight might make Barlo train harder and want to finish. Hopefully, Barlo doesn't show up with that rat tail on the back of his head, and that's why he got knocked out against Patterson. It wasn't Patterson's power; it's that rat tail on the back of your head.
Terrible.
Yeah, it's horrible. And yeah, this would be his path. The Jordan might outvolume him and last the decision. Yep, yeah, that's definitely. But even Ozzy Diaz outvolt. Ozzy Diaz is not that great. I think it was the Josh Quinlan fight where Barlo fractured his hand and still knocked him out in the third round. That was very impressive. Patterson versus Alvarez would be fire. That would be fire. We got Bon Hoot saying almost at 30K subs. Congrats, Brady. Appreciate you. Almost there. I think 400 or less away. 3 men. Yeah, we might hit the over 4.5. We'll see. We'll see. Rat tail equals worst base for MMA. I agree. You know what? Let me look up to see if Barlo's rocking the rat tail. Because if he is, we might have to take a shot on DeSantis.
Didn't somebody else just get knocked out with a rat tail recently?
Yeah, I believe so. I forget who though.
Oh, I think it was somebody on Contender Series.
Yep. Yeah. He got the ass shaved. It's hard to tell. I mean, it's in the back. I mean, from the front, he looks like he has the rat tail. Yeah. It's just hanging there. It's a nice haircut from the front. It's just when you get to the back.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the rat tail, man.
There's a video of him running, and it's just flopping around in the back. Oh God. Oh my God.
Rat tail, the skullet.
Oh. And
then there's the white man skullet, because a skullet on a white man it's 20 times worse. Remember Kelleher's skullet?
Oh God, yeah, and he got knocked out by Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah, I think it was Cody Gibson. Was it Gibson? Well, no, maybe it was Garbrandt.
Garbrandt knocked him out. I mean, Kelleher's having a rough time right now.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm not a big fan of the rat. I wouldn't tell that to Barlow's face, though. I mean, I wouldn't say that to his face. That's for sure. I mean, that guy puts people in the hospital. Imagine Jessica Andrade with a rat tail. I don't really want to imagine that. That's just Rat Tail's better than a Skullet. It's debatable. We can debate it. I mean, I think both are pretty bad. Both are pretty rough. I don't know. Rat Tail is cool at 70. I don't think it's ever cool, to be honest, but I mean, maybe some people like it. All right, we'll keep moving on to the next fight. We have Bruno Silva going against Hung Sung Park. We got Bruno Silva, 35 years old, 5'4" with a 65-inch reach. Hung Sung Park, 29 years old, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. We got Hung Sung Park, 6 years younger, 3-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Bruno Silva is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Victor Rodriguez. Submission win against Tyson Nam. Knockout win against Cody Durden. Knockout loss against Manel Kopp. And then a knockout loss against Joshua Van. As far as Hung Sung Park, he has 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Sunguk Choi. Won that fight by 3rd round submission. Knocked out Shannon Ross in the 2nd round. Submitted Carlos Hernandez in the 1st round. And then lost to Tetsura Taira by submission in the 2nd round, his last time out. It's a very fun fighter. I'm actually really looking forward to this fight. 2 very dangerous guys in the flyweight division. And I've always been a fan of Bruno Silva. This guy's well-rounded. He's a BJJ black belt. He has a ton of power for the division. And I guess these guys are kind of similar in a way because Park has some pretty good power in his own right, and Park has some very, very slick grappling. So I think both guys are going to be dangerous wherever this fight goes. I'm a little bit worried about Bruno Silva. He's taken a ton of damage as of recent. He's been getting finished a lot as of recent. You know, the cardio's never been that great throughout his career. Hung Sung Park is still kind of an unknown. You know, we do have 4 fights of this guy, but I kind of feel like we still don't know a ton about him. But yeah, should be a very fun and pretty high level flyweight fight here. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, it should be a really fun one. Bruno Silva, you know, he's getting up there, dude. He's 35 and a half years old. And when you look at him, you're like, fuck, man, he could be 40. You know, he could be one of those shady ass, you know, because he's one of, how many Bruno Silvas are there in Brazil?
Yeah.
Probably 25,000. You know, I mean, so like it wouldn't be difficult for him to find somebody around the same height, 5 years younger, and bam, now you're a hot prospect in the MMA world instead of a 33-year-old debutante. But here we are against Hyun Sung Park, and I had a max bet against Hyun Sung Park last time out with Tetsuro Taira. I remember seeing Taira at -400 and being like, that's probably worth 5 units. There's like 0% chance that he's going to lose to Park, who's not better than him anywhere. And then money came in on Park.
Oh,
and I was like, really? People are betting Park here? I don't think Park's any good. I had money on Park against Sunguk Choi. I was throwing shit until the 3rd round when Choi shot a takedown and Park wound up getting his back and wound up finishing the fight. When I was just screaming, like, get a takedown. Get a takedown. Get a takedown. You're a better grappler than this guy. He doesn't seem to have good fight IQ. His boxing is solid. His grappling is really good when he actually grapples. But like that Carlos Hernandez fight, Carlos Hernandez got into the clinch with him and then turned his back to him. I don't know what the fuck that was, but like, like if I was coaching Hernandez for that fight, like the one thing I tell him is like, just don't give your back to this guy. Whatever you do, don't give your back to him. And Bruno Silva is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's been wrestling with Henry Cejudo for the last 8 to 10 years. And he's not going to be giving up his back to Hyun Sung Park. And I think that Silva's got more power. I think Silva's the better submission grappler. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and a high-level one at that. But he's 35 years old, so I worry about him being washed. I worry about him being on like the back 9 of his career. I worry about the fact that he's gotten knocked out by Manel Kopp and Joshua Van, especially the Van one. He took a ton of damage in the Van fight.
I mean, they probably could have stopped the fight in the 2nd round.
Yeah, man. I had Josh Van by KO there, and I was just screaming at the TV, stop the fight, But when he finally dropped Bruno in the 3rd, then it was really quickly stopped after that. But like the Manel Kopp knockout was just an eye poke, so it's not like he really took a lot of damage in that one. So I don't know, man. Like I think Bruno Silva is definitely the side here with where these lines are, because I don't think Hyun Sung Park is very good in the first place. So I mean, there seem to be a lot of Hyun Sung Park nut huggers out there, a lot of dick riders that think that this guy's got a real future in the division. I'm not one of them. So I think that this price is entirely too wide, and I might get to the Bruno Silva side here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sucking his nuts, but I think he's decent. Like he's pretty good. I think he's gonna get a lot of UFC wins, but he's not gonna be like some champion. You know, where do they have this total at?
On my template, I've got it at under 1.5. They have at plus 174,
Yeah,
and
that's
the
horrible.
over 1.5 at minus 200.
Yeah, this is going over. Bruno Silva, when he gets finished, it's always in like the third round, like when he's gassed out.
Mm-hmm.
But if Bruno Silva wins this fight, you know, and he gets the finishes, it is probably early. So I don't know. I think maybe like an under 2.5 potentially with these two. Both guys, they're going to be dangerous everywhere. On the feet, both guys have power, and then both guys have submission grappling. Park's been finished in his only loss. Silva's been finished a ton. So I kind of like violence, but I'm, you know, an under 1.5 in a flyweight fight. No, thank you. I think it goes over.
Yeah, I agree. I like that over 1.5 at minus 200. My model likes that quite a bit. Trifecta bet, 17% in total savings. So my model says it's underpriced at minus 200. And I tend to agree because while Silva's a great finisher, you know, he's 35 now. I don't know if he's going to be going out there just starching dudes in 7.5 minutes in the flyweight division. And I don't think Hyun-Sung Park's getting to Silva's back and choking out like a third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and Bruno Silva. Or he's high level. I don't know what degree he is, obviously, but he's been around for a while.
Yeah. Both these guys have not been to a decision in a very, very, very long time. The last time Silva went to a decision was back in 2020 against Tagir and Bekoev.
Wow.
And then as far as Hyun-Sung Park, I don't even know. I mean, all his UFC fights have finished, so I guess that's why they're putting it 1.5, but I think it does go over, I suppose. Let's see. Hyun-Sung Park by double eye poke. I could see it. You know, eye pokes are legal. Groin shots are legal. It's all legal.
It's all legal.
Unless it's an actual legal strike that Vicente Luque got hit with. And then at that point, you know, Vicente Luque gets to take some time and just ridiculous. Slam the over. Yep, I like the over 1.5 rounds as well. But I also like the under 2.5 rounds, potentially. If you go to Brazil, the phone book with Silva might be 7 inches thick. Yeah, you got that right. You got that right. Shannon Ross is the goat of getting knocked out by Jesus Aguilar. I mean, that was ridiculous. Bruno Silva by sub, potentially enticing. And he could, yeah. He's a very dangerous grappler. Jessica Andrade got a rat tail in the front. I seen it. She got a rat tail on her puss. I don't know. I haven't got tagged in any Andrade pictures recently.
Yeah, I don't even know why you even brought that up, dude, because now it's going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen. Me and Marcel have been talking in the DMs. He's cool now. He's not
okay. All right, good.
But there is some other weirdo that tags me in him, but he hasn't done that in a couple months. So I think
he doesn't.
Yeah, we're in the clear. And plus, you know, she closed down the OnlyFans, so the pictures are going to be getting harder and harder to get access of.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We got Charles Jordane going against Davey Grant. Very fan-friendly fight here. Yeah. We got Jordane, 29 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. Davey Grant, 39 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. We got Jordane, 10 years younger, 1-inch height advantage. Ooh, same reach there. Jordane is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Kron Gracie. Submission win against Ricardo Ramos. Decision loss against Sean Woodson. Knockout loss against Gene Silva. And then a submission win against Victor Henry. As far as Davey Grant, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Luis Smolka. Submission win against Rafael Assunção. Decision loss against Daniel Marcos. Decision win against Ramon Tavares. And then a decision win against Damon Blackshear. It's so weird with Davey Grant. This guy's 39 years old. You can argue that Davey Grant is in his prime right now at 39 years old. I mean, Davey Grant's been looking incredible. So listen to this. He beat Blackshear. He beat Ramon Tavares. Those are really good wins. He lost to Marcos, kinda. I thought he beat Marcos and honestly beat him pretty clearly, which would have been a great win because Marcos was like 16-0 at the time. I thought he beat Marcos, pretty clearly. He beat Rafael Assunção. He beat Luis Smolka. He lost to Adrian Yanez. I don't know about that.
Yeah,
that fight was very close. I did personally score it for Grant. That was very close. I mean, this guy arguably could be on like a 7-fight winning streak currently. And yeah, he's looking good. You know, the takedown defense, the grappling's improved leaps and bounds since when he first got in the UFC. When he first got into the UFC, he got subbed like 3 times in his first 4 fights, and Now he's working on the takedown defense, the get up game, the grappling, the striking's looking better than ever. He's a very weird, awkward striker on the feet. I think it's going to be a very close fight here. I think it's going to be a very close fight. Both these guys are next level durable. Both these guys, I don't think Davey Grant's ever been knocked out. Charles Jordane's been knocked out once, and it was against Gene Silva. So I think these guys are going to swing dicks a little bit. I think it's going to decision. I think it's going to go into the hands of the crooked, corrupt judges, and I think it's going to be a competitive one. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, I like the overs here. Davey Grant's ridiculously durable and never gets knocked out. Charles Jourdain is ridiculously durable, and he got knocked out by Gene Silva, up at 145. And that's why he moved down to 135. He's like, I'm sick of getting hit by these featherweights, man. So these guys are going to stand and swing dicks for the full 15 minutes, and it's going to be a really fun fight. I think it's going to be very close. What's the money line on this?
Money's been pouring in on Jordane. So it was about a pick'em, I believe. Yeah, it was a pick'em for a while from October 6th all the way to October 10th. So 4 days. It was about minus 110 each way.
Okay.
But now it's minus 170 for Jordane. Yeah, and plus 145 for Grant. I'm not sure if there's some sort of injury on the Grant side, because I think it's going to be I don't see how it's not a very competitive fight here. Like Jordane's not going to wrestle or grapple.
Yeah, but like when you break down a fight like this, Brady, the first thing that people are going to look at is Charles Jourdain's 10 years younger. And that's just something that right there is going to move you towards a minus 200 favorite just based on that analytic alone. And then you've got Davey Grant flying all the way from the United Kingdom all the way to Vancouver. So Vancouver is just north of Seattle there. So like Seattle's, for you to get to Seattle, it would take 4 hours by plane, maybe even 5. So for Davey Grant, he's literally flying halfway across the world for this fight, and he's turning around in only 2 months. Super quick turnaround for a guy in Davey Grant, who's really only fighting once a year up until recently. So I think that those are the things that, like, I see the fight like playing out like you do, like very close. These guys are going to stand. It's going to be tit for tat. They're going to be trading shots, and I think it's going to play out very close. But those analytics mean something. The long trip for Grant, the quick turnaround, the 10-year age difference, the recent move down in class from Jordane from 145 to 135. I think that's what the market's looking at when they're backing Jordane here. But I see this fight playing out 50-50 like you do.
Yeah, it's going to go to Jordane, though. It's in Canada, and that's the thing. So I think Grant's probably going to be a value loser this week.
And it's not like we haven't seen that before, right? Because I agree. He won that Daniel Marcos fight.
I thought he'd won it pretty clearly. But
there's no way he didn't win the third round of that fight, right?
Yeah.
Round 3, he just absolutely walked down Marcos and destroyed him. And if I'm not mistaken, in round 1, Daniel Marcos landed 0 fucking head strikes.
Oh.
So how did he win?
I don't know.
How can you win a round landing 0 fucking head strikes? That's so weird. So, yeah, you can make an argument that Davey Grant's on a 7-fight win streak right now.
Yeah.
That's wild at the age of 39. So, yeah, this is going to be a banger of a fight, man. And, if this line keeps going on Jordane, there's going to be some value on the Grant side, because all those outside analytics that will help you cap a fight on where the line should be, when you look at the in cage, once they close that door, you don't get points for being younger. You know what I'm saying? You don't get points for being Canadian, supposedly. It's going to be how it actually plays out in the cage that determines who wins the fight. And I think that Davey Grant can hang on the feet with Charles Jourdain, and I think that's pretty clear considering how he's looked at on the feet in recent fights.
Yep. I think it's a close one. I agreed with it being closer to a pick'em, but yeah, minus 170 now for Jordane and Davey Grant. And it's funny, like if we do bet on Grant, damn well we're gonna hear that he like broke his foot or something. Damn well like something. So I don't know, but yeah, Jordane minus 170, Grant plus 145. I agree. I like the over 2.5 minus 190. The under 2.5 is plus 165. I like the over. And I think Grant has some value, but does he win? We'll have to see. It's going to go into the hands of the crooked, blind, corrupt judges, and you never know what they're going to think. All right. My ex account got banned after I tagged someone with Andrade nudes. Oh gosh, I mean
You're
that's
lucky you didn't wind up in jail.
yeah. I mean that should be a crime, 100%.
Yeah.
The problem with Jordane is he's losing fights often and then pulls some crazy shit off. It's hard to put my money on the hopes that he does some spinning shit or gets a sneaky sub. He's kind of inconsistent. He's 40 and gets wobbled every fight. No. No. I mean, he is 40, but I don't think he gets wobbled every fight. I can't remember the last time. He got hurt in the Farah fight. The Vera fight, but other than that, he's not really getting hurt too much. Jordane has a grappling edge, but I don't think he can take Grant down. I don't think he can either. Hopefully not another Lucas Almeida. We'll have to look at the weigh-ins to see if David Grant's rocking an extra big hand or something. Davey Grant's been in America for months.
Oh, I know that he's got a restaurant in the United Kingdom. So
apparently Joseph lives near Davey Grant.
Okay, maybe he's in Vegas. Maybe that's why he's taking fights 2 months after he just fought. Is because he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna make some money fighting right now before I'm too old to do this shit anymore.
No, I'll tell you why he's taking it because Damon Blackshear didn't fight him. Damon Blackshear decided to grapple him in the first round and then decided to look at him for the next 2 rounds. He didn't take any.
Sure did.
It was horrible performance from Blackshear there. Grant, this next fight's for a title. I don't know about that. Weezy, what is your go-to deep dish spot in Chicago?
Tell him.
Luminati's.
Yeah, Luminati's, baby. That's the place.
Good,
that's the place. That's where me and Brady and Avery went when the UFC was here in Chicago. Fantastic deep dish pizza.
It was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Jordane's brother might fight on this card against a crappy debut. I hope they don't add a late fight. But I know he was asking to get on this card, but I mean it's
no. I didn't he hurt himself?
Maybe he hurt himself.
He might have broke his foot or something. I think something happened to Jordane that it's going to keep him off of this card.
Okay.
Not Charles, obviously. Louis.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bro, I'm 40, never even had pizza. Oh my gosh.
Never had bad pizza.
Oh, I can't read. Never had it.
Yeah. You got to love it. Even bad pizza is still better than most meals.
Yeah. All right. I think Jordane's brother getting signed and this being in Canada gives him the edge. He should be better everywhere than Grant. I mean, his brother don't really have nothing to do with the fight, but I definitely agree with it being in Canada helps him out there in a close fight. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be there we go. Kyle Nelson versus Matt Fvola. We got Kyle Nelson, 34 years old, 5'11" with a 71-inch reach. We got Matt Fvola, 35 years old, 5'9" with a 71-inch reach. Kyle Nelson, 1 year younger. Kyle Nelson with a 2-inch height advantage and got the same reach there. We got Kyle Nelson, who is 3-1 and 1 draw in his last 5 fights. Had that draw against Doo Ho Choi, decision win against Blake Builder, decision win against Fernando Padilla, knockout win against Bill Algeo, and then a knockout loss against Steve Garcia. As far as Matt Fvola, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Gennaro Valdez, knockout win against Otman Azaitar, knockout win against Drew Dober, knockout loss to Benoit Saint Denis, and then a knockout loss to Fares Ziam. So this is a very tough fight to call. And I don't know about you, but I always really struggle to call a Matt Fvola fight because you just never know what to expect. This guy does have some really good wrestling in his back pocket, but the last several years, I mean, he hasn't wrestled in a very long time. I remember he went out there and wrestled Jalen Turner over the course of 15 minutes, but nowadays he's just kind of looking to go out there and stand and bang, and that's great and all. He has a ton of power. He knocked out Drew Dober, was the first person to knock out Dober, I believe. He has a ton of power, and he can knock you out, and he can knock you out 5 different times like he did in the Valdez fight, but he also has a very, very, very suspect chin, and Kyle Nelson has power. So it's a tough fight to call. I don't really trust either one of these guys. I think the cardio of Nelson has always been very inconsistent. I don't really trust either one of these guys to have success wrestling. I kind of think it's going to come down to who lands that big shot first. Matt Fvola has a ton of power. He can knock you out, but Matt Fvola also might have one of the worst chins in the division. This guy's been knocked out like 4 or 5 times. So yeah, really struggling to pick a side on this one, Wheezy. And the line does indicate that. I believe this is like one of the closest line fights on the card. Yeah, -120 for Fvola, +100 Nelson. I think it's a tough fight to call. What are your thoughts on it?
I think one of the things that I've learned in all my years of MMA betting, Brady, and it's this: you just can't be confident about your opinion about how a Matt Fvola fight is going to play out, man.
Can't.
Like, this guy will go on Twitter and be like, should I stand and bang or should I wrestle?
Yeah.
And, you know, and he'll put the fucking poll up and he's like, hey, wrestling it is, you know, like, and it's, you know, and it, like when somebody does that, you know that there's no way to predict it. The guy's going to go out there and have fun. So you might as well have fun watching this guy fight. And that's what I'm going to do from now on, is I'm going to tell people, hey, if you're looking for a breakdown on this fight, if you're looking for an opinion on this fight, just go someplace else, because my opinion on this fight is going to be fucking fun. You know, it should be a really fun fight. Kyle Nelson's got a ton of power too. Kyle Nelson's been in a ton of wars and been in a lot of fun fights himself. And, you know, this one being in Canada, Nelson being the hometown guy, Fvola being a guy, you know, from New York, not far from Western Canada, or I'm sorry, Eastern Canada. He's going all the way to Western Canada for this one. So I think it's going to be just a really fun fight, like every Matt Fvola fight. And I think somebody's probably going to get served here. You got to think that the unders are a very good look. And I can't wait to see how this one plays out. But one thing I'm not going to have, Brady, is a fucking opinion, because I'm done.
Yeah. There's no point in breaking down the X's and O's of this fight.
Why?
Matt Fvola should probably wrestle, and in a lot of these fights, he doesn't. He's going to go out there and swing his dick, and it's a big dick, but he also has a very suspect chin, and Nelson has power, man. I mean, knocking out Bill Algeo is not an easy thing to do. He's the first person to do that. So, yeah, kind of think it's like a car crash. I don't know who I'm picking, but I agree. I like the under. This was one of the totals I let you know about this morning.
Yeah.
I was surprised it was set at 2.5, because I wrote down in my notes that I was actually going to bet the under 1.5 rounds. So I even still might do that, but I like the under 2.5 especially. It has moved a little bit. Believe it or not, it opened up at plus 105. Can you believe an under 2.5 opened up at plus 105 in a Matt Fvola fight? I mean, this guy.
If you look at the bottom right corner, lost KO, win KO, win KO, win KO. It's wild to see somebody that fights like that getting an under placed at 2.5 instead of 1.5, and then to get it almost even money.
Yeah,
it's wild.
I mean, you know, there might be a chin concern if you're getting knocked out by Farazam. I mean, I don't care if it was a knee.
Brutal too.
Yeah, it was brutal. I don't care what it was, but if you're getting knocked out by Farazam, I mean, we might have a problem.
Dude, that was like getting hit in the chin with a baseball bat, man. That was a scary, scary knockout. And Fvola is on a 1-year layoff. Kyle Nelson's on a 1 year and 1 month layoff. So that's another reason to be just like, you know, when you got two fighters on a super long layoff like that, you know, it just makes it even trickier to try to cap the fight. So I'm not going to be, you know, I'll write up all the stylistic shit. I'll write up all the trends, all that stuff. And I'll be like, I'm going to throw a dart at the board. I'm going to be like our guy Dan Levy when he flips the coin, you know, like, because that's how I felt about the Filio Carpenter fight this week. You know, it was like, I don't know who's going to win this fight. You know, I felt like flipping a coin. And for this one, I kind of feel the same way.
Yeah, this is definitely a coin flip type of fight. But yeah, both guys took that Farazam, you're not going to see a worse knockout than that. I mean, that was just brutal. So he's coming off of that. And then even Nelson, Nelson took a ton of damage in the Garcia fight. Garcia got on top of him, started landing those nasty elbows. A couple got through to the back of the head. I mean, he took a beating against Stevie. So both these guys are coming off brutal KOs. I would not put my money on either one of these guys, but I would put it on, you know, a total. I think that's probably the look. I'm interested to see where they have the under 1.5 rounds at. I think it's just going to be a car crash. Lou Malnati sounds good as F right now. Now fire, get back to Milwaukee. Yeah, it does sound pretty good. Both are chinny. Fvola just has empty pressure. That's why he gets finished so much. He's a lunatic in there.
Yeah,
the lunatic. Arman Tsarukyan's the only guy to not finish Fvola. He went out there and wrestled him. I think he got like 10 takedowns in that fight. I want to say Fvola, if he can lock in his Kudalaba, maybe he could win. Not reckless Kudalaba. There you go. Getting head kicked and then kneed back to back is that Benoit Saint Denis head kick was very brutal. He's been getting knocked out brutally. It's scary, man. Pick 'em fight, yeah. Fvola gets the KO. I can see it. I mean, if you're knocking out Dober, you can knock out anybody. The coin went 2-0 last week. Glitch. Yeah, maybe we do a coin flip on this Nelson Fvola fight, because who knows? It's a Fvola fight. Who knows what's going to happen? All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Cody Gibson going against Arichi Long. We got Cody Gibson, 38 years old, 5'10" with a 71-inch reach. Arichi Long, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 69-inch reach. We got Arichi Long, 6 years younger. Cody Gibson with a 3-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage. Cody Gibson is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Had the decision loss against Brad Katona in the Ultimate Fighter finale. Decision loss to Miles Johns. Submitted Brian Kelleher. Won a decision against Chad and Helliger, and then lost by submission to Damon Blackshear. As far as Arichi Long, he is 2-1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Beat Jay Perrin by decision. Got knocked out by Ayman Zahabi. He beat Johnny Munoz Jr. by decision, had that no contest against Marcos in a fight that he was probably on his way to losing, and then lost a decision to Raul Rosas Jr. So, yeah, I mean, we got a couple of these on here. We got a striker versus grappler matchup. Cody Gibson, wrestling background, going to be looking to get the fight down to the ground against Arichi Long, who has a 58% takedown defense. He was taken down 3 times by Raul Rosas, taken down 4 times by Johnny Munoz Jr., taken down 3 times by Jay Perrin, taken down 5 times by Cody Durden. He can be taken down. So I think the path is there for Gibson, and I think that's probably why, money's coming in on Gibson throughout the last couple of days. But, he is 38 years old. I do kind of question the cardio of Gibson. He does seem to slow down in some fights, kind of question the durability a little bit. But, I mean, the path is there for Cody Gibson this week, Weezy.
Yeah, and it should be fun. This is another, I kind of like the matchmaking here, because Kwai Lang is always exciting. He comes forward, he throws bombs, he can mix in the wrestling a little bit himself, but he hits pretty hard and he puts on fun fights. And Cody Gibson's been in some fun fights too. I mean, he ran through Brian Kelleher, had a fun fight against Ann Helliger. His fight, he even made a Brad Katona fight fun. You go back and watch that Brad Katona fight, there's one exciting fight in that dude's career, and it was when he fought Cody Gibson. Those guys went to war for 3 rounds. So, yeah, man, I mean, I think Cody's still fighting at a fairly high level for a 38-year-old bantamweight, but he has lost 3 of his last 5 fights, and he really displayed some shitty fight IQ in the last one. He took down Damon Blackshear in the first round and in the second round of that fight after dominating the striking exchanges. And both times after he takes down Blackshear, he gets reversed, put into bad spots. He gets hurt in round 1, and then he gets finished in round 2. So I still worry about, if you're going to be betting on Cody Gibson, does this guy have a great process to his game? Does he have a great way to go out there and win minutes and bank rounds? And the answer is no, because he's 1 win and 4 losses to the decision at the UFC level. So even though a couple of those have been pretty close, where you could say maybe they could have went either way, the Katona fight was very close in particular. I'm just not sure. I don't feel like I can lay juice on a 38-year-old bantamweight who hasn't really been able to pull way apart in certain areas. But the fact that he was so confident to go to his wrestling and grappling against Blackshear, you would hope that in this fight against a former flyweight in Kalang, that he can go out there and potentially get some takedowns, get some top time, land some ground and pound, win some minutes, and bank some rounds. Because if you're going to be backing him at juice, that's what you really need him to do. Because while this fight's on the feet, Arichi Lang's going to come forward. He's going to throw big bombs, and I think what he does at distance striking range looks really good optically to the judges. So I think it's going to be a fun fight. I think that these guys will put on a good show for the fans. It'll be a back and forth dick swinging contest. But I think if Cody can get takedowns here and win some minutes with his wrestling, that he can potentially look his price tag. Right now, the line on this fight is Cody Gibson's minus 155, Arichi Lang plus 135, and the under 2.5 rounds sitting at plus money at plus 157 here. And my model likes the under 2.5 just a little bit better at plus 157 than it likes the over at minus 180. And I don't know, man. An under at plus money, and this is actually kind of attractive because I see this being a pretty competitive, fun fight where they're literally trying to kill each other. So neither one of these guys is Canadian, though, which is kind of weird. You know, we're in Canada, but we get an American against a Chinese guy. So anyway, I think Cody Gibson because of the grappling upside. But if he fights with shitty fight IQ again, our Reach Lane could potentially get the job done here.
Yep. When did he fight with bad fight IQ? The Blackshear fight?
That Blackshear fight was pitiful fight IQ, dude. He was kicking his ass on the feet, and then he took him down in the first round and got reversed and put in a bad spot. He took him down after hurting him in the second round, and then he got put in a bad spot. And so he initiated both grappling exchanges where he wound up getting out grappled by Blackshear. So that to me was showing some really bad fight IQ.
Yeah. Well, good. I had the Blackshear sub prop. I needed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is my Smash Your TV play of the week. You ready?
Okay.
If you bet this play, it's gonna be big plus money. You're gonna smash your TV. It's Cody Gibson by submission.
Okay.
He's going to proceed to almost finish Arichi Long 3 different times. He's going to get him with an almost arm triangle. He's going to get him with an almost rear naked choke. Maybe even try like a Kimura or something as well. He's gonna have 3 different submission attempts, and he's not going to get them. That's what I'm thinking. Because Arichi Long actually has shown some pretty good submission defense. You know, Rob Rosas Jr. wasn't able to sub him.
Mm-hmm.
Johnny Munoz Jr. attempted 3 submissions. He wasn't able to sub him. So I kind of feel like Gibson will be getting to these spots. He will be attempting these subs, but he won't quite get that sub. Kind of like in the Ann Hellier fight as well, where he attempted like 50 subs and couldn't get one. So that's my Smash Your TV play of the week. The sub's going to be big plus money, and it's going to look like a good bet, but it's not going to hit. I have bets like those every week, and that's one of them.
Did we both have bets in the under in that Gibson and Halliger fight?
Oh, I had Gibson by sub big. I love because Ellen and Hellier has been subbed like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, and I feel like they put a horribly large number on that, and we both hit it. And dude, we had him in like 4 or 5 different subs, and oh god, that was so close.
Yeah, that gave me AIDS.
That was so painful.
It wasn't full blown though.
Well, good. Oh, that's why you're still here.
Full blown was the Kevin Hall and D-Rod fight that we'll talk about later. That was full blown AIDS.
No.
Yeah, I was starting to actually feel better as well until I retaped that fight last night.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to retake that fight. I never saw that fight. I was at a party. I was watching like my phone, and people were like, "What are you doing? Why are you on your phone?" I'm like, "Get out of here." Anyway,
we'll get into that in a little bit. I have some words for that. Kyle Nelson is a lock. Lock's crazy, man. But he could absolutely knock out Matt Fvola. Absolutely. I'm leading Nelson just because it's in Canada. How quick is Gibson going to lock that body triangle up? I'm saying the first 2 minutes. Yeah, I mean, he could take down Arichi Long, get to the back, and start hunting for it. That's why I think the sub prop is probably gonna have some value, but I don't know if it's gonna hit because I don't know. Gibson's 30. Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Easy bet here. This is the kind of bet you can steal that money from a roommate or relative because this is a time you're for sure going to win money. Steal,
yeah, STEAL.
You're saying to steal money from your roommate or relative and bet it on the fight? Don't do that. That's horrible advice.
Yeah, don't steal, you guys. Stat Diggers, our official stance is that stealing is bad.
Yeah, stealing is not great. Waiting for that Gibson sub prop. Yeah, I might bet it just because I mean, it's probably gonna have some value, but will it hit? I don't know. He's right. A few weird matchups on this card. They could have easily plucked some Canadian guys from the regionals to throw on here. Yeah, there are a couple weird matchups. Almost every fighter goes to the ground with their injured opponent. I bet the over, but that still was probably not safe. So, yeah, I mean, Cody Gibson, money's coming in on him, Wheezy. He was a plus 145 underdog at open, and then he was minus 120 for about 5-6 days, and then now he's minus 155. So money's coming on Cody Gibson. Okay. They're seeing that grappling path, and if he takes that grappling path, he should win the fight. And Rachel Long opened at minus 170, currently plus 135. So the line has actually flipped from open. And yeah, the over 2.5 is minus 180. The under 2.5 plus 157. Again, I think it might be a smash your TV bet on the under because there's a lot of opportunities for this fight to finish, but I'm not sure if it will. Has Irina Alexeyeva received help yet? I don't believe so.
God, we got to get her some help.
We're not going to talk about how Montel Jackson needs some help. We briefly touched on it a couple times earlier in the show. We didn't go too hard on him because we both didn't have money on Jackson. But if we did have money on Jackson, I'm sure we would have had some more choice words. But yeah, not a great fight. Jay Perrin took down Iori. Oh God. Maybe the steam's starting to make a little bit of sense. I remember Jay Perrin. Oh, God.
Yeah, I remember Jay Perrin. I interviewed him, and I know that Dan Levy's a huge Jay Perrin fan.
Oh.
He loves Jay Perrin. Yeah. He had, I think 20 units on Jay Perrin against Raul Rosas Jr. Couldn't believe he lost the bet. But, no, like that. Dan calls him Jay the Jobber Perrin.
Oh, God. No.
He was not kind to Jay Perrin, man. I'll tell you, dude.
What if Jay Perrin? He seems like a nice guy, Dan. I mean, isn't Jay Perrin a nice guy? You interviewed him.
Jay the Jobber Perrin is what he calls him, man.
That's crazy. That's great. But yeah, I mean, Jay Perrin's taking it down. I mean, there might be a problem. Jay Perrin was a marauder. Yeah, I would tend to agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. Oh, gosh. Yeah, this is a good one. We got Manon Fioro going against Jasmine, Jazz the Vicious. We got Fioro, 35 years old, 5'7" with a 65-inch reach. Jasmine, Jazz the Vicious, 37 years old, or 36 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Manon is 1 year younger, same height. We got Jasmine with a 3-inch reach advantage. Fioro is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Jennifer Maia. Decision win against Caitlin Chukagian. Decision win against Rose Namajunas. Decision win against Aaron Blanchfield, and then a decision loss to Valentina Shevchenko. As far as Jasmine Jazz the Vicious, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. A submission win against Priscilla Cachoeira. A decision win against Fatima Klein. A submission win against Ariana De Silva. A decision win against Mara Bueno Silva. And then a submission win against Jessica Andrade. What I'll say, Weezy, is this is a massive step of competition for Jasmine Jazz the Vicious. And I think it's a really good test to see where she's at. Because not only is she going out there and winning fights, but she's winning them, and she's winning them dominantly. These fights aren't even remotely competitive. I mean, the Cachoeira fight was one of the biggest beatdowns I've seen in a very long time. The Klein fight, Klein had her moments, but, she beat Klein, beat Ariana De Silva. That fight wasn't competitive. Beat Mara Bueno Silva. That fight wasn't really competitive. And then she just ran right through Jessica Andrade as well. So I think it's going to be a nice test to kind of see where Jasmine's at. Is she ready for, Manon Fioro, who's coming off of a title fight loss? What are your thoughts on this fight? Very, very high level fight here.
Absolutely. Can't wait for this one. I think Manon wins this one comfortably. I really like her in this spot. She just out-grappled Valentina Shevchenko, in my opinion. That fight. Who did you have winning that fight?
I didn't even watch the fight, to be honest. I was at a cabin in the woods.
Okay.
And we didn't have the pay-per-view, so I didn't watch it. I was in the hot tub.
It was a great fight. Manon and Valentina went back and forth. It was one of the highest level women's fights I've ever seen. And I was really impressed by both of them, obviously. But I don't think Jasmine's going to have much grappling success here. I really don't. And I think that Manon might even be able to get a takedown or two of her own. Jasmine has only been controlled for 3% of her UFC career in control time positions. But for Manon Fioro, it's 3.5%. She's stuffed 21 of 24 takedowns and is spending 3.5 seconds out of every 100 being controlled by her opponents. It's just not. I don't see Manon getting taken down and held down here. And this fight is not going to be close on the feet at all. So I think Manon's a phenomenal parlay piece this week. I think she's going to win this fight. I think she's going to win it decisively. And I think that she's going to really comfortably win the minutes at distance striking range. The question is Jasmine going to be able to get in on those hips? Is she going to be able to get this fight to the ground? And once she gets it there, is she going to be able to keep it there? Because it's only a 3-round fight. This is not a 5-round fight. And because of that, if she can get early takedowns in a couple of rounds and find her way to half guard and stay there for an extended period, She could win enough minutes to bank 2 of these 3 rounds and win a decision here. But I think that Manon wins this and wins it comfortably.
Yeah. It all comes down to whether or not, Mannon's able to stuff these takedowns. And yeah, she has really good takedown defense. 87%.
Yeah, it's 87.5%, but that's what it is that she's stuffed 21 of 24 takedowns. So she's done really well in terms of stuffing those takedowns and not getting controlled on when she is getting taken down.
Would you say this is the best wrestler Fiora's fought?
Well, if we look at the fights that she's fought, Victoria Leonardo, Tabitha Ricci, Myra Bueno Silva, Jennifer Maya, Caitlin Chukagian, Rose Namajunas. Yes, absolutely. Valentina Shevchenko, the second best wrestler that she's fought. Erin Blanchfield, probably the third best wrestler that she's fought.
Yeah, agreed. Blanchfield didn't really wrestle, though, which was just really weird. But yeah, I mean,
and it's because it's hard to get close to her.
Yeah, really good footwork, especially in the big cage.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I still got to tape this. I got to tape this one, and then I think the Vera fight still. But yeah, I think Fioro should win if she can stuff these takedowns. Minus 250 for Fioro, and we got plus 210 for Jasmine Jasnovic. I will say, I mean, Jasmine's striking is definitely coming along. It's nowhere near the level of Fioro, but her striking looked incredible in the Mara Bueno Silva fight. But yeah. Fioro is not, or a lot better than Mara Bueno Silva. My mind says Manon, but my heart says Jasmine. Yeah, it'd be nice to see Jasmine get it done. It's just not the easiest matchup in the world. Jasmine's run ends on Saturday. We got Dravi saying, "Oh, Canada, let's go." Jasmine via dick twist.
Hey yo,
dick twist. Manon by stoppage. You're not allowed. I mean, anything goes in the UFC.
They don't let you do that.
The over is minus 350. I would tend to agree with that. I mean, Jasmine's next level. Both fighters next level tough. Klein and Andrade are strawweights. Manon is a fridge. Agreed.
Fridge.
Jasmine ITD and sub props going to be nice numbers with her being. They're going to be massive numbers. Eileen Perez's butthole, massive numbers. Because I don't think anybody's really expecting a finish in this one. My mind said, man, we talked about that. Well, maybe the crooked corrupt judges give it. Yeah, they could potentially.
And it's a 3-round fight, so she just needs to get 2 takedowns and really kind of staple her to the mat. And if she's able to do that, she can win this fight.
Yep, I want Jasmine to win, but I just can't see it. Manon has amazing takedown defense and hits like a man. I like Fiora at minus 180, but minus 250. No thanks. Yeah. May sprinkle round 3 stoppage. You got Z liking the dog shot on Jazz, especially in Canada. Don't like a minus 200 bet on WMMA. Javi saying over seems like a good parlay piece. I like the over as a parlay piece too. All these top fights can have a decision robbery for Canada fighters. Yeah, maybe. You never know with the crooked, corrupt judges. All right. I say we keep moving on to the next fight. We got Marlon Vera going against Ayman Zahabi. We got Marlon Vera, 32 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Zahabi, 37 years old, 5'8" with a 68-inch reach. We got Marlon Vera 5 years younger. Same height. And we got Vera with a 2-inch reach advantage. Marlon Vera is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Dominic Cruz. Decision loss against Corey Sandhagen. Decision win against Pedro Munoz. A decision loss against Sean O'Malley. Decision loss against Davison Figueiredo. As far as Ayman Zahabi, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Ricky Tercios. Knockout win against Arichi Long. Decision win against Javid Basharat. A decision win against Pedro Munoz. And then a decision win against Jose Aldo. So I used to be the biggest Ayman Zahabi hater out there ever. I hated this guy. This guy never fought. When he did fight, his fights would just be awful. I mean, he just does nothing. He has absolutely nothing in his fights, but I mean, he just keeps on winning and he keeps on getting better and better. And I think a couple fights ago, I think it was that Munoz fight was the best performance the Javid fight was the best I've ever seen Ayman Zahabi. He was actually letting his hands go. He was actually throwing volume. He has power. And then he followed up with an even better performance against Pedro Munoz, throwing even more volume. I never thought in a million years I'd see a fight where this guy lands 100 significant strikes, but he did. And then I went out there and actually bet on him against Jose Aldo, and he beat Jose Aldo. So kind of coming around on Zahabi a little bit. And it's a fight where we know what's going to happen, Weezy. Marlon Vera is going to take off the first round. This guy hates winning first round. So I think if you're going to bet Vera, instead of betting him at a pick 'em, you bet him after the first, and then it's going to come down to round 2 and round 3. Another very closely lined fight here, Weezy. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, dude, I remember when Marlon Vera started to fight 5-round fights, and I remember thinking, like, this guy is going to be a serious problem in 5-round fights. He's got legendary durability, so you're not going to be able to finish him. He's got phenomenal cardio, so he's not going to get tired. He's got serious power in his strikes, so if you give him 5 rounds to find those moments, to find those potential finishing sequences, he's going to be so much more dangerous in those fights. And then it was like, instead of just taking off round 1 of a 3-round fight, now Marlon Vera started taking off the first 3 rounds of 5-round fights. And the guy is just allergic to starting fast. He's allergic to offense. I'm going to say it. Marlon Vera is allergic to offense. This guy, I mean, and it's frustrating. It's frustrating because somebody like Marlon Vera, with the conditioning that he has, with the durability that he has, and with the power that he has, if he would just fucking march forward and throw a ton of volume and stay in his opponent's face and look to murder them, he would be one of the best fighters in the division, and he would potentially be one of the most exciting fighters across any division in MMA if Marlon Vera fought like that. If. It's such a big if. This guy could be awesome, Brady. I mean, why won't he fucking do anything? Why won't he throw his hands? Why won't he pressure his opponents? He's a good grappler too. Why won't he shoot a fucking takedown? Marlon, do something. Please.
He will in round 3.
Dude, if he tries to win a technical minute-winning battle against Ayman Zahabi, he might as well just go try to play chess in Russia somewhere. He's going to get smoked. I mean, like, that's what Zahabi does. Zahabi wins minutes and banks rounds. Marlon Vera's 4-9 to the decision.
Oh, my gosh.
4-9. He just doesn't do anything. He waits for that moment. He trusts his power. He trusts his precision. And he waits to find that moment where he can hurt you and then use those finishing instincts to finish the fight, or hurt you and then lock up a submission. You know, but he just doesn't do enough, Brady. And now that it's a 3-round fight, this guy's going to throw away round 1 at an alarming rate. It's really hard to back him. Then you add on to that, Brady, a 1 year and 2 month layoff. Why? And I mean, after that Sean O'Malley performance, dude, a title fight, and you pull that shit, that was the biggest fight of his life. He didn't do dick. Dude, he could have walked down that fucking dyed-haired candy ass, has been hurt in every fight. He already beat that guy once. He could have fucking walked that guy down and murdered him with his bare hands. And he fucking sat at range and did jack fucking shit for 25 minutes. So I honestly feel like at Marlon Vera at 32 years old only, with his conditioning, with his durability, which is elite, you know, that if he would just fucking decide to pressure people, if he would just decide to let his fucking hands go, this guy could make another title run. He could start fighting in round 5 fights and change his style to fit what he already does well as a fighter, but it's not going to happen. The guy's going to sit around and do jack shit and hope that he lands one big shot and wins the fight.
Dude, I remember watching the Sandhagen fight, right? And I'm like, okay, Marlon Vera is a slow starter. And then the second round hits. I'm like, okay, he's going to start going to get going soon. And the third round hits. Okay, he's going to get going, right? And then the fourth round and the fifth, he never even started in the Sandhagen fight. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. And the fact that a judge actually scored that fight for Vera is disgusting. I mean, that fight was nowhere near a split decision. I scored it 50-45, 49-46 at the very worst case scenario for Sandhagen. But yeah, it just takes too long to get started, you know, against pretty much everybody. I mean, this guy's losing first rounds at a very, very high clip. I think the only first round he's really won was the first O'Malley fight where O'Malley got hurt, right?
Yeah, he hurt his leg, right?
Yeah, I think outside of that, he's losing like every other first round. It's ridiculous. So yeah, Zahabi opened up minus 250. Wow. He's currently minus 130. Marlon Vera opened up plus 210, currently plus 110. We are in Canada. The crowd's gonna be behind, but Zahabi there. The over under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 is minus 250, which I would tend to agree with. Both these guys very durable, especially Marlon Vera. Maybe Marlon Vera finish only. Probably pushes, but I mean Marlon Vera is probably not getting finished ever.
No.
So maybe a Marlon Vera finish only. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's an interesting one. I think Marlon gets an L. Zahabi by decision. Dogger pass. I think he's talking about the Jasmine fight. Process versus hardware. That auto fight was nuts. That auto fight was nuts. Remember when Ricardo Ramos spinning elbowed Zahabi into the fifth dimension? Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Ricardo Ramos is the type of guy to beat Zahabi but lose to Con Offley. Like, Ricardo Ramos just makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Zahabi all day. Vera got no power anymore. Remdug saying Vera round 3 or Zahabi by decision. Dan saying the wildest thing about all this is Marlon Vera has the most finishes in bantamweight history. That is wild. That is wild. Is Cody Brundage fighting this week? No.
Not yet.
No.
Unless they're going to put, like, on Wednesday, be like, hey, we need to do McConical Brundage part 2.
No.
Which was a fight that was put together on Fight Week on purpose, too.
God. I know. I remember that fight getting announced. I'm like, oh, Brundage is going to destroy McConical. And then he loses to McConical. I was like, what are you doing, Cody? Yeah, I never want to see a short notice Brundage fight again because he looked horrible against McConical on short notice. And then he looked god awful against Cedric. Remember that Cedricus Dumas performance? 3 strikes in 15 minutes. So hopefully Cody's not getting thrown on late. I need Cody to have a full camp.
Yeah.
Zahabi is so overrated. I thought he was overrated for the longest time. But like I said, I'm starting to come around on him. I mean, this guy hasn't lost in a very long time.
To Javid Basharat, Pedro Munoz, Jose Aldo are the back-to-back wins right now for Ayman Zahabi. That's really impressive. Yeah. And some people are going to say, Brady, he's 37 years old, going on 38. Who cares? He's got the mileage of a 28-year-old. This guy only showed up to fight once every 2 years. So he's actually only got 15 professional fights and 120. He's got 2 hours of cage time. This guy's 37 years old. He's fresh.
He's fresh. Marlon Vera's not as fresh at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, this guy hasn't lost since 2019, which is crazy. Yeah. What's up with Eileen? We're working on it. It's in the works. Hitting her up, trying to get Eileen Perez's OnlyFans to sponsor the show.
That would be awesome.
That would be awesome. If Vera just cleaned up his beard, he could be a star. Why his beard in America? He could play a cartel or gangbanger in all my crime shows. I could see it. Marlon Vera was the last leg of a 7-leg parlay against Corey, and then he gave me that performance. Yeah, it was bad, man. Almost as bad as a guy who broke his right hand before the fight or got hit by a car. Yeah, it's very bad. Very bad. I feel like Zahabi minus 250 to minus 300 is what it should be. Minus 138 right now on Bet365 seems like a must bet. Maybe. I mean, he's going to win the first round. All he has to do is win one of the last 2, right? And it's in Canada. If it's a close decision, probably going to him. I think Holland is a huge step up for Malott. We'll talk about that fight very shortly. All right. I say we move on to the co-main event. Before we do so, if you guys have not, be sure to smash the like button for us. We have 90 likes. It's not bad. That's not bad at all. Not bad. Let's try to get 100. 100 likes would be cool by the time we get out of here, which I think we will. So appreciate you guys for that. Subscribe if you have not already. We go live every Sunday, 10:15 Eastern time on the dot. And we were never a minute late. I think even tonight, we started, I think, 5 minutes early.
Yeah, we were pretty early.
Yeah.
We were pretty early.
If you're not early, you're late, is what I've always heard. So I wanted to start a little bit earlier for you guys, get you out of here a little bit earlier so we can all go to bed, get some extra rest. So, yeah, I just want to do something nice for you guys there. All right. Co-main event. What a mess. This is another really weird fight. I'm looking forward to it. It got Kevin Holland versus Mike Malott. We got Holland, 32 years old, 6'3" with an 81-inch reach. Mike Malott, 33 years old, 6'1" with a 73-inch reach. Holland 1 year younger. Holland 2-inch height advantage, and Holland with a 8-inch reach advantage. Kevin Holland is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Roman Dolidze. Submission loss to Ranier de Ritter. Decision win against Gunnar Nelson. Submission win against Vicente Luque. And then a decision loss to Danny Rodriguez. As far as Mike Malott, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Johan Lioness. Submission win against Adam Fugit. Knockout loss to Neil Magny. Decision win against Trevin Giles. And then a knockout win against Charles Radke. This is borderline 1-800-GAMBLER for me. I mean, what the hell is Kevin Holland doing fighting on this card? I mean, so Kevin Holland shows up in the D-Rod fight, and he looks completely washed. He looks completely out of it. And he shouldn't be washed. He's only 32 years old. Why is he looking washed? But D-Rod is actually winning a lot of the striking exchanges. D-Rod wins the first round off of Kevin Holland. And then in the second round, D-Rod hurts Kevin Holland on like 3 different occasions, drops him, wobbles him, hurts him bad. I mean, the fight could have potentially been stopped. D-Rod could have knocked out Kevin Holland. I mean, D-Rod's hurting. I mean, Kevin Holland's known for that durability. Why is 39-year-old washed D-Rod going out there and knocking you down and wobbling you? Is the most bizarre thing I've ever seen. And then it turns out, Kevin Holland showed up, and I think he was fighting with like a concussion or something like that. And it made sense. So he's coming off of a concussion. He's coming off of an absolute war with D-Rod where he was almost finished on several different occasions. And that fight was not long ago at all. Like, that's a type of war that you want to take like at least 6 months off type war. That fight was 2 months ago. What are you doing, Kevin Holland? I'm worried about Kevin Holland. I'm always worried about Kevin Holland. Everybody should be worried about Kevin Holland. I mean, this guy has some of the worst fight IQ you'd ever see. This guy's a fake black belt. He has no ground game. If he ends up on bottom, he's getting subbed more often than not. I'm worried about the durability now, which is a huge concern because you're never, ever worried about the durability of Holland, but I am. I'm worried about his durability. So I'm worried about the fight IQ. I'm worried about the durability. I'm worried about the quick turnaround. I'm worried about the ground game. I'm worried about the fight IQ. I think I already said it, but I got to say it twice. I'm worried about Kevin Holland. On the flip side, I'm worried about the cardio of Mike Malott. I'm worried about the durability. I'm worried about both these guys, Weezy. I mean, both these guys are just walking red flags. I will never, ever, 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 and I've said this before, but I mean it this time, I will never bet on Kevin Holland ever, ever. I don't care who he's facing. I don't care who Kevin Holland is facing. I will never bet on this guy ever again after what he pulled against Danny Rodriguez. This is a 1-800-GAMBLER fight. Best of luck to everyone picking a side here. It's a closely lined fight. I want nothing to do with it. This is the closest line fight on the board, Weezy. We got Kevin Holland -103, Mike Malott -117. I feel like there's going to be very strong opinions, one side or another. But my strong opinion is Kevin Holland just can't be trusted at all.
Yeah, you can't. And you forgot to mention that the fight IQ was bad.
I did.
It's bad, dude. So that's another thing you got to worry about with Kevin Holland. And then in addition, obviously it's like, this guy pulls up to the fight and you don't know if he's been training. You don't know if he's been trying. You don't know if he's showing up for a check, or you don't know if it's going to be the version of the guy that arguably beat Jack Della Maddalena a couple years ago. When he's weighing in at 170 pounds, there's a good chance he's going to show up and put on a great effort. But yeah, I was hearing whispers through the grapevine that he might not have been 100% for that last fight. And then, sometimes you hear those whispers and sometimes they don't really turn out to be true. And then sometimes they turn out to be true. And I mean, you got Rodriguez like knocking this guy all over the cage like he's got power. And I mean, he just hasn't shown that at the UFC level. And against a guy like Holland, who's known for being durable, the fact that he was getting bounced around that cage like a pinball by a 40-year-old man, it wasn't a good look, dude. So yeah, I think that this is going to be Malott. I thought he looked great against Radke.
He looked career best against Radke. Yeah.
Looked phenomenal against Radke, and Radke's got some weapons. You get hit by that left hook. It could be the end of your night, and Radke could wrestle. He could grapple. You make a mistake against that guy, he can catch you. And Malott ran through him. It was not close. So I mean, he's looking really good. And unlike Kevin Holland, Malott does have some process to his game. Like, he can outwork you on the feet if he thinks that you're a shit striker, and he can outwork you on the mat if he thinks that you got shit takedown defense. And guess what? Kevin Holland has shit takedown defense. So, I mean, I think that if Mallet fights smart, he can keep it very close on the feet, but he can find minutes and moments potentially on the mat here against the guy in Holland who never really committed to learning wrestling and working on that part of his game.
Man, this is a 1-800 gambler for me. I can't trust either one of these guys. Like that's coming back way too soon. Like Holland literally got dropped like 5 different times against D-Rod in that second round. I mean, the fight could have been stopped. And then apparently he's dealing with like concussion. I mean, this guy might be the next Jared Vandera. I mean, if Kevin Holland's not durable, then what's he really good at this point? That durability was huge. But
dude, I remember one time our guy Luke sparring with Reality. He sent me this thing that he had saw Jared Vandera post somewhere. I don't know if it was in an interview or it was a tweet. And somebody asked Jared Vandera, because Jared Vandera said that he was working on script writing at the time.
Mm.
And I was like, wow, that'd be interesting. A script written by Jared Vandera. And so the person asked him, well, what kind of a script are you writing, or what would you like to write? And the response from Jared, which I was alerted to by Luke, was honestly a romantic comedy. So
I believe it.
I mean, like that could be the next. I mean, Jared Vandera is putting some wins together on the regional scene, but I personally, if he was the head writer of a romantic comedy, I would probably have to go watch that.
Yeah, nothing wrong with a romantic comedy. I don't mind it. But that is hilarious. My favorite Jared Vandera moment was when Alexei Oleinik got him with the scarfold?
Yeah, the scarfold, yeah.
And then he started puking after. He started puking in the cage. Like, why are you puking in the cage, man?
Yeah, and then there was the clip of him learning it from Alexei backstage.
Yeah.
He goes, how did you do that?
you do this, you do that.
You go like that,
Malott getting it knocked the F out. And he could. I mean, Holland, if we get the best version of Holland, the Holland that gives a shit, the Holland that trained, the Holland that cares, the motivated Kevin, I mean, of course he can knock out Mike Malott. Of course. But I don't know. I don't trust him. How do you trust either one of these guys? I don't. Holland has 8 kids? What? Holland has 8 kids? I didn't even know he had one.
I didn't know he had any.
8 kids. It's crazy. Holland is the most untrustworthy fighter in UFC. I agree. I can't. Can you think of a more untrustworthy fighter in the UFC?
Oh, I could think of several. I mean,
more than Kevin Holland.
Anybody that I fucking bet on, Brady, there's like a 50% chance that they're either getting hit by a car, injured, or going to show up 14 pounds heavy on weigh-in day.
That's true. That's true.
So, I mean, there's a few, man. Holland is definitely one of them.
Boy saying Kevin Holland flying knee. And by the way, I went back and watched that Holland fight last night. And Holland, although he got his ass whooped, right, for the first 10 minutes, Holland almost finished D-Rod in the 3rd round, landed a nasty uppercut, was proceeding to almost, like he was a couple punches away, actually, Holland, from coming back and knocking out D-Rod. But what does Holland do, Easy? Instead of, maybe following up with some elbows, maybe some more uppercuts, maybe some punches, what does he do? He grabs D-Rod's head and it does a jumping knee to his head, and he does it like 5 times. And it doesn't even, it misses each and every time. He's just wasting energy. And then he ends up on his back. And that's the fight. It was just horrible fight. Literally just a couple punches or elbows away from the fight being stopped. The ref was looking closely, but instead he does these stupid ass jump knees that just wasted energy. Probably levels on the ground. I could see a sub from Malott or top time to a decision. I mean, Kevin Holland's ground game stinks, dude. I mean, it's horrible. So, I mean, if Malott gets the fight to the ground, he's probably submitting Kevin Holland. Grappling exchanges could be fun here. They could be. Holland, shake my head. Agreed. Malott's got power too. Both guys have power. Kevin Holland doing jumping. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. The jumping kicks and knee. Like, what are you doing, Kevin Holland? You have D-Rod who's about to die, and you're doing stupid jump knees? Why? Like, what's wrong with this guy? Yeah, this is also a big thing. Like, if you listen to Holland interviews, like people will ask him, they'll be like, do you want to fight for a title one day? No, I don't want to fight for a title. He doesn't care. He's like, I don't care if I lose. What? Did you like? I'm listening to this guy's interview. I'm like, did he really just say that? He doesn't care if he loses. What is that? What do you mean you don't care if you lose?
Yeah, but all you have to do is watch this guy's fights to know that he doesn't care if he loses.
That's so true. It's like, what do you mean you don't care if you lose, Kevin?
Like he gets submitted and then he's out there like hugging his opponent, laughing his ass off like 30 seconds later, you know?
Like, fuck this guy. You know what? Yeah. Fuck you, Kevin Holland. I hate you. I hate this guy.
You know, I mean, like, I think that maybe Ryan Spann is less reliable than Kevin Holland because he might have had more natural talent, but like, you know, they're on the same level. They probably hang out.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
This is a good point. So nobody's mentioned the Holland's fight IQ. Yeah.
We forgot to mention that.
We didn't mention it.
His fight IQ is terrible.
Yeah.
Remember when he let up Stephen Thompson twice off the ground?
They had a gentleman's agreement to not grapple at all. What a dumbass. I just think at their worst, Kevin Holland beats Malott. I don't know. At their worst, Kevin Holland's losing to Wash D-Rod. I mean, if we get the best version of Holland, then sure. But I don't know. It's like Holland doesn't realize he gets more money if he wins the fight, right? He doesn't realize he's so stupid. Kevin smokes that za, and there's a lot of it in Vancouver. I think he's here for a check. He's always here for a check. Didn't Holland ask to only fight older fighters? Seems like him a lot. Smack. Yeah, Holland's he literally came out and said, I want easy fights. I want
the easiest fights you can give me.
Yeah, and they did. They gave him D-Rod. They're okay. We got you, Kevin. Here's 40-year-old Wash D-Rod who's been in over 100 prison fights, who's washed to bits. Here's D-Rod. You're a minus 600 favorite. Go finish this guy. And he loses to him. Yeah. It's unbelievable. Kevin Holland doesn't take his career seriously, so why should I? I agree. We got Fat Barnett in the building. What is up, Barnett? And by the way, we got a fight coming up with Barnett. He's making his big return. I'm surprised they're letting him back in there after what happened last time. But they're letting him back in there, and he's taking on Hamdi Abdelwahab.
Yes, dude, that's in because like Fat Barnett is Mr. Abu Dhabi, for those of you who don't know, and he's making the return there to fight, you know, one of their favorite sons in Hamdi Abdelwahab, who's looked phenomenal lately, Brady, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
really good. Really good. I mean, just like absolutely ran through Jamal Pogues. You know, got robbed against, was it Muhammad Usman that he didn't hit once for 3 rounds? And
I don't even know. I mean, he fought Dontel Mays, and that fight was awful.
Oh my God, he fought Dontel Mays. Oh, that's right.
Maybe I'll go Malott. I don't know, dude, because Holland's the type of guy to lose to D-Rod, but go out there and beat Mike Malott. I mean, you never know with Kevin Holland.
Yeah,
you never know with Kevin Holland. Holland is done. Losing to D-Rod might be the best sign you're washed now. He looked washed in that fight, but he was dealing with some type of injury to the head or something.
Yeah.
How many kids does he have? I don't know if he even has kids, but he might have 8. I don't know. It's going to be Malott with the OSP choke, the Von Flue.
Could be.
We could see something stupid like that happening. You never know with a Holland fight. You can get anything can happen with the Holland fight. Prayers for a long time. I mean, if you're betting on Kevin Holland this week, you got to have some type of balls. I mean, I don't have the balls to bet on Kevin Holland, that's for sure. Dontel Mays was a mirage. It's so funny when people say that. So it's funny you say that. So I saw, they have the fight odds have the notifications on Twitter for fight odds dropping, and they opened up at Hamdi at like minus 200 or something. I'm like, I kind of want to max bet that. And then I checked the line. It was like minus 400 already for Hamdi against Fat Barnett.
No, he could absolutely fuck that up.
That would be hilarious.
Hamdi's fucking terrible, dude.
He's so bad.
A fucking wrestler that doesn't wrestle.
I know, but Barnett's going to injure himself on the announcement, what do you call it? The fighter announcements or fighter intros. I lost so many years of my life watching that Holland D-Rod fight. I lost my voice that night because that fight was like literally like a 10-unit swing, over a 10-unit swing for me, that Holland fight. I was big on Holland inside the distance. And in that third round, I'm screaming, finish him, Holland. Why are you doing these stupid ass jump knees? And the finish was right there, so close. Usman was a robber, yeah. 5% chance someone gets sick or pops for the juice before the Barnett Abdelwahab. Yeah, I have a feeling it might get canceled as well. I don't think the fight's going to happen. Yeah, I think Holland was maybe born with a head injury potentially.
Yeah.
I could see it. But yeah, we got Mike Malott minus 117. He opened up minus one. So money is coming in on Holland. Kevin Holland opened up plus 130. He's currently minus 103. This line, it looks like it might even potentially flip.
Okay.
Which is very interesting. I will not be betting it. I will not be betting on Kevin Holland, and I will not be betting on Mike Malott. I'll be sitting back and watching people complain after the fight's over. Holland's so dumb. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just now realize Holland has horrible. Yeah, he does have horrible fight IQ. Why would Holland go for takedowns here and get geeked? I don't know. I mean, he's Kevin Holland. Give me plus money on Malott. Yeah, we'll see. It's looking like it might be trending that way. We'll see, Elijah one. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 is plus 110. The under 2.5 is minus 130. All right. We'll move on to the next fight. Under 2.5 potentially could be interesting. But it's a Kevin Holland fight. You never know what you're gonna get. Never know what you're gonna get. Holland pulled a stun of the year candidate on the Jackson podcast and followed it up with the encore performance versus Deer. What happened on the Jackson podcast, Dan?
The Quant Rampage Jackson, JAXXON.
What happened there?
I don't know.
I remember hearing something about it. I forget what it was though, but I do remember hearing something about it. Holland has a food truck in Texas, does he? Okay. I didn't know that. Maybe I'll have to check it out one of these days. All right. Main event time. We have Renier de Ridder going against Brendan Allen. We got de Ridder, 35 years old, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. Brendan Allen, 29 years old, 6'2" with a 75-inch reach. We got Allen, 6 years younger. De Ridder with a 2-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. De Ridder, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Gerald Meerschaert. Won that fight by third-round submission. Submitted Kevin Holland in round 1. Knocked out Bo Nickel in round 2. And they beat Robert Whittaker by decision. As far as Brendan Allen, he has 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Paul Craig. Decision win against Chris Curtis. A decision loss to Nazardine Imavov. Decision loss to Fluffy Hernandez. And then a decision win against Marvin Vettori. So, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for this fight, Weezy, but I'm also kind of upset. I mean, we were robbed. We were absolutely robbed of the best fight of the year. Renier de Ridder versus Anthony Fluffy Hernandez. Could you imagine? I mean, that fight would have been an incredible. I mean, one of the fights I was looking to the most of all time. I mean, de Ridder with those big knees to the body, Fluffy with that crazy pace, that crazy pressure. I mean, that fight would have been a hell of a fight to break down. Unfortunately, Fluffy had to pull out, and in steps Brendan Allen. And although I'm excited for this fight, I'm nowhere near as excited as I was for the Fluffy fight. But yeah, de Ridder, he keeps on surprising me. Dude keeps on surprising me. I mean, the fact that he went 25 minutes with Robert Whittaker, if you would have told me that Renier de Ridder went 25 minutes with Robert Whittaker in round 4, round 5, I would have called you an idiot. But he went out there and he did it, and he won a decision. I mean, this guy keeps getting it done. May not be the prettiest fighting style, but he has those disgusting knees. He has disgusting grappling. If he can get on top of you, he's very dangerous, has a lot of power. And I think the biggest thing that I've noticed is he's just massive. Yeah. You know, you can't teach size. Yeah. And I remember that Bo Nickel fight. You know, once de Ridder rehydrated and all that, I mean, they looked like 2 weight classes apart. You know, same thing with Robert. I mean, this guy looks like he shouldn't be fighting anywhere near the middleweight division, but he is. So, yeah, what are your thoughts on this fight? Speaking of bad fight, okay, we got Brendan Allen fighting in this one. But, yeah, it should be a fun fight. Curious to your thoughts on it. I know you're a big Renier de Ridder fan.
Yeah, I am. I mean, like, you think about what this guy's done. It's been pretty special thus far, just at the UFC level. That's not even counting the 2 championships in 1 championship before coming here. But, I mean, dude, he turned Bo Nickel from the greatest MMA prospect in the history of the sport to the biggest fraud in the history of the sport. And, like, Bo Nickel hasn't even – I mean, we haven't even heard from the guy since.
It was a
that
really
was 2 fights ago.
Yeah.
Like he retired Bo Nickel in 15 minutes, or like it wasn't even 15 minutes. He knocked him out. You know, so and because of that, like we're probably going to get like Bo Nickel was minus 3,000 in all of his fights. We're probably going to get him at plus money next time out. And he'll probably win because he's not fighting Renier de Ridder, who's one of these guys who understands who he is as a fighter. Like we were just talking about how Marlon Vera could be 10 times better if he was aggressive, because he has the exact attributes that you want in order to be a successful, aggressive fighter. And Renier de Ridder is a pretty bad striker, but this guy wants to grapple. So what does he do? He marauds forward.
The marauder.
He throws big knee. He's a marauder, dude. That's a word that doesn't get thrown around on this show almost ever. And that is what Renier de Ridder is. He's a marauder. He's going to come forward and he's going to clinch up with you. And once he clinches up, he will land those knees. And then he's going to try to find those body lock takedowns, get you to the ground where his, Brazilian jiu-jitsu is elite. So I think it's a tough matchup for Brendan Allen because it's going to be difficult with him maybe being the better striker here, maybe being the better technician, but neither one of these guys spends much time at distance striking range. Both of these guys spend about half of their octagon time at distance striking range and half in control time positions. And I think that Renier de Ridder is going to be a lot more aggressive in those control time positions. Brendan Allen's never been a particularly talented wrestler. If you want to take this guy down, you can take him down. And the clinch game for Renier de Ridder, I think, is going to be the difference maker in this fight, because Brendan's pretty good in the clinch, but Renier de Ridder, he's more than doubled his opponents in significant clinch strikes in the time that he's been there, and he's dominating on the mat. So I like him to win this fight, but long trip, from the Netherlands to Vancouver. And Brendan Allen is taking this fight on short notice because it was supposed to be Hernandez, but it's not too short a notice. I think he had 3 weeks, maybe even a month.
A couple weeks.
Yeah. So should be a pretty fun main event, but I do like Renier de Ridder here so far. I've got to definitely look a lot deeper into the fight, but this guy looks to be special to me.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to fight for a title in the very near future, and probably win. I mean, this guy makes no sense, but he keeps on winning. Let's see here. It should be RDR, and yeah, RDR opened up minus 250, currently minus 190. Brendan Allen opened up plus 210, currently plus 165. The over under stood at 3.5 rounds. The over 3.5 plus 115. The under 3.5 is minus 135. So apparently Allen's coming out and saying that he's Canadian.
Yeah. Well, he's from Louisiana, and a lot of those are Cajuns, and the Cajuns are French, and a lot of the French, when they came to this continent, were up north in Canada trapping furs. They were fur trappers, and so a lot of them actually have roots up there, and then a lot of them went down to Louisiana, where there's another big French population over there as well.
Oh, a little history lesson.
Yeah, you know me. Yeah.
Allen could potentially win this if he wasn't retarded. You could say the same thing for the Holland fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
Allen's schedule looks good, and RDR's looks is completely inflated. Dude sucks. He gasses and he's not powerful. Bo sucks and Whitaker's washed. Fade. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking the same thing, but he just keeps on winning. So I don't want to say he sucks, but he just keeps on winning. I don't want to step in front of this guy de Ridder anytime soon. Fluffy would have done bad things to RDR. He probably would have, as long as he could avoid those big knees to the body.
Yeah.
Allen's getting spanked. I would tend to agree. What are they feeding these Dutch middleweights? I don't know. This dude's massive, absolutely massive. I got to see RDR beat Bo live in Des Moines. There you go. That must have been cool to watch. Fluffy would have cooked this oaf. You say oaf?
Oaf, yeah.
There you go. Battle of the Marauders. There you go. Future really likes RDR. Maybe he likes him a little bit too much. RDR by Oma Plata. I'm interested to see how the grappling exchanges are going to play out. We did see Jacob Alcoon take down Brendan Allen back in the day, and I thought Malkoon beat him, but if RDR gets on top of you, it's gonna get bad.
Yeah, the difference in size between de Ridder and Malkoon is
much
crazy.
Bigger. Yeah. And an RDR is just so much more dangerous than Malkoun, who got knocked out by Cody Brundage in round 1.
Yeah, I mean, you knocked the shit out of him.
RDR has been training at Killcliff this year. Okay.
Oh, so then that's good. That's not nearly as long of a flight. I mean, still, Southern Florida to Vancouver is no easy flight, but it beats, Amsterdam to Vancouver. That's for sure.
Allen might chin RDR. Allen was landing some big shots against Vittori. I mean, Allen striking looked really good there, but we'll see. They weren't trapping harder than the Hood. Nobody traps harder than the Hood Wolf.
Yeah, man, that's for sure.
Went 3 rounds with GM3. Yeah, that was a weird situation there. He lost to Rob. That was a clear case of close fight going to the guy the UFC trying to build. That was a tough fight to score, but
yeah, it was a close fight.
Yeah,
it was a close fight.
This could be a nighty-night, keep your butthole tight fight. It could be. It's an RDR fight.
Yeah.
Never been an all-in believer. Yeah, me either, really. But I don't know. Kind of really want to see the fluffy. Maybe we'll see the fluffy fight in the future. Would be nice. All right, Weezy, we did it. 13 fights. Now it's time to get to business. We got to come up with a Stat Diggers parlay. We got to get 2 legs. Last week we had Charles Oliveira, check. Joel Alvarez, check. So now we need to come up with a parlay. And let's see. We could do a potential total. We could do a potential money line. I have my money line ready, potentially. What are you thinking for this week?
I like Fioro.
All right. And I like Danny Barlo.
Let's see. Does that get us plus money?
I don't think it will.
Minus 115.
Okay.
Not terrible.
Trying to think about what else I would do. I think that's the only money line leg I'd parlay, to be honest, because we got a lot of closely lined fights.
Yeah, maybe one of these overs where the guys are durable, like Vera. Well, even the over 2.5 for the Vera fight, that's minus 300, just like the Barlo money line is. So we wouldn't get any better price.
Yeah, we can just do that. Minus 115, it's fine.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Fioro money line, Danny Barlo money line, minus 115. If you saw free money on the ground, you'd pick it up.
I don't know if it's free money.
No, I know.
But anything. I mean, Barlo could get by a bus or a car.
Oh God, yeah, you get this rat tail caught in like a wood chipper.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, Fioro could show up with a broken hand. I mean, you never know with these fights.
God.
But yeah, Fioro and Barlo minus 115. The Stat Diggers parlay of the week. All right, now it is time for. We'll start with the milking here. So last week we nailed it. Walter Walker to milk the bad Usman, and he did. Usman didn't even show up. That's how bad he got milked. So this week, let's see. We got, I guess Melissa Croden could potentially. She has a really milking style, but I'm just not in love with her, to be honest. Bekoev might potentially milk Belgaroui if he takes that approach and gets takedowns. Cody Gibson could potentially milk Richie Long if he takes the right approach. Not really a ton of. I guess the Ritter could potentially milk Allen. I kind of feel like it'd be more of a piping, though. I don't know. What are your thoughts on a potential milking? There's really not a ton of options this week.
Yeah, I think it could definitely be De Ritter, just because when you see that Allen can get taken down and can get out wrestled, Renier De Ritter's got a better top game, in my opinion, than Fluffy Hernandez. Got a better top game than who's the Malkoun.
Oh, by far.
Just because his Brazilian jiu-jitsu is better than both of those guys, and he's obviously just absolutely gigantic. I mean, he's a light heavyweight in a middleweight's body, so I think that's a possibility. I think Bekoev is also a possibility, just because. Dude, he's looked pretty damn good at this level, and he's been piping people, though. He hasn't been milking, though. Yeah, but this could be more of a milking because of the ground game,
unless he fell in love with the box.
And he might have, because he's sleeping fools.
I know.
So he doesn't want to fall in love with the box against this guy that's been out there against Pereira and Weissei and all these top-notch kickboxers. It might not be a good idea to stand up against Usuri.
I like the Ritter as the milking. I also don't mind Cody Gibson, but I think the Ritter can absolutely milk Allen. I also think he could pipe him, though, is the problem, but I could see him milking as well.
Yeah, and Bekoev, and that's about it.
Yeah, we'll go to Ritter. That's fine.
All right.
All right. So the milking of the week is going to be Renair de Ritter to milk. Brett, did they still call him All In?
I think that's still the nickname. Yeah.
All In Allen this Saturday. All right. Went 3 for 3 last week. Let's see if we can do it again. The milking of the week is RDR to milk Brendan All In Allen this Saturday. All right. Now it's time for the piping. We need somebody to get piped on site. We don't need a decision. We need a piping. So according to the odds, they're maybe expecting a Dober piping, but I don't know. I don't love it. Bekoev could potentially pipe Belgaroui. Somebody's getting piped in the Nelson Fvola fight. Somebody could get piped in the Holland Malott fight. Danny Barlo could potentially pipe Jordane Ribeiro. Somebody could probably get piped in the Silva Park fight. Yeah, I mean, and of course the Ritter could pipe Allen, but he's already the milking.
Yeah.
There's also not many options for the piping. Maybe Bekoev or Santos, I think, would be the two options. Or Bekoev and Barlo.
Barlo, yeah.
Or Dober, I guess. But Preplec's never been knocked out.
Yeah, like Usry. What's up with Usry? Has he been finished before?
No, he's pretty durable.
He is pretty durable, but that won't matter necessarily if he gets put into a bad position on the ground, because and then all you need is the ref to step in.
True. Did I wonder if Pereira knocked him out?
I don't know, but they fought 3 times and he beat him once. So
he lost to Adesanya a couple times too. Adesanya didn't finish him. Pereira knocked him out in the first round, and then Pereira had a doctor stop. He lost to Pereira by doctor stoppage in the third round of one of the fights. So Pereira finished him twice.
Okay. Yeah, and I mean, like, that's, obviously I don't think Bekoev's hitting him that hard, but the fact that Belgaroui, as a MMA professional, wasn't even finished by Marco Tulio. Tulio's a stud. And if that guy's not getting you out of there.
Remember what Tulio did to poor Trayshawn Gore? Oh my gosh.
Jesus. Dude, he hit him so hard that they call him Teresian now. It's awful, dude, what he did to that guy, man. Marco Tulio is a fucking phenomenal prospect. This guy's out there banging Norma Dumont. He's out there getting finishes in the UFC cage. I mean, he's the arrow's pointing straight up.
We can get risky. We can pick somebody in the Nelson Fvola fight. We can pick somebody in the Holland Malott fight, and we can get risky. I mean, there's some options.
There definitely are, man. Like, I think Bekoev is. I don't think Bekoev is a good option, just because he's gonna have to. Like, I think it's more of a milking.
Yeah.
Malott might just show us that Kevin Holland doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, Malott could sub him.
And frankly, I think Fioro might just beat the hell out of Jasmine Jasdavicius, dude.
She's probably not going to pipe her, though.
No, probably not, because it's not. I mean, it's minus 350 to the over 2.5. So it's not like the market's thinking that this thing's going to finish inside the distance at a high rate.
Yeah. Oh, we could do a poll.
Tough.
We could do a poll.
Yeah,
let's do a poll.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, who is going to pipe their opponent
on site?
We'll do Bekoev. Should we do like Malott? Maybe we'll do Malott.
Yeah.
Barlo and one more.
Shit. Barlo.
We'll do Dober. I'm sure people might want to.
Okay, yeah. Put him in there.
Okay. All right. So we'll let people vote, and while we do that, I'm going to kick it to you, Weezy, and let people know where they can find you.
They can find me on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy's YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter at MMA Wheezy. The kids call it X these days. Yeah, it is what it is. But and you can find my probability stats and content package, which has all these statistics, individual fighter stats, the matchup stats, the over/under betting model, the prop betting model, a full card breakdown show every week, which is members only, a full card prop show, members only show, all my track bets, access to the Discord, $25 a month. Find me on oddshopper.com. Looking to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Vancouver, with hopefully only betting on 2 fighters that have injuries or fights that have some kind of chicanery going on with them.
I guess maybe wait for weigh-ins, maybe check their arms, check their wrists, look for stats.
I'm going to look at everybody's hands this time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, guys getting hit by cars, guys with broken hand. I mean, what's going to be next? What's going to be this week? Kevin Holland shown with another concussion?
Oh my God, could
probably.
Could
He's
be
probably permanently concussed.
Yeah, Kevin Holland's going to get his foot run over by his own food truck, and he's not going to tell anybody, and he's going to come out there, things going to look like a balloon.
I can see it, man. All right, so we only have 22 votes. I mean, are people sleeping or what's going on?
It might be a little late.
We have 523 watching, and I get it. A lot of people are watching on X, which is fine. We have 190 on YouTube, which means, I mean, you would think maybe a third of that would want to vote. Well, so 190 divided by 3. You would think we get at least maybe 63 votes. You would think.
You'd hope.
So we'll give people a little more time. I've got nipples. You want to milk me? What?
Okay.
Holland will pipe a lot. I think somebody probably gets piped in that fight. I just don't know who is the problem. And and it's hard to know who. It's hard to know who's going to get piped. Barlo, Torres Finney versus UFC Belgaroui. Book it. That'd be an interesting fight.
Weren't they supposed to fight? I think they were supposed to fight once.
Finney was supposed to fight Bekoev, actually.
Oh, okay. That's what it was. Yeah, that's right. And actually, Belgaroui was supposed to fight him too back in August.
Oh, wow.
This fight was made back in August, and it was Belgaroui had to pull out with visa issues, and then Bekoev just stomped poor Zach Reese, or was it?
Yeah, poor Zach Reese.
Yeah, he stepped in on short notice.
Yeah, Danny Barlo, Dober, Malott is like Holland can't trust. I don't trust either one of those guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate MMA Casual. Well, it looks like Danny Barlo gets a fan base. Looks like someone is lost. That rat tail, man. Guys fighting with an ankle monitor. Yeah, you never know. You never know. Rashad's too busy smoking. They're just in the back. There you go.
Okay, yeah.
Jay was gooning. Yeah, didn't see that. All right. Bekoev by ground pipe. All right, we're going to check the results. Here we go. Wow. Pretty close.
Okay.
All right. The first two, at least. 34 votes is ridiculous, guys. I mean, but you take what you can get. Dober at 12%.
All right.
Malott at 12%. It's between Barlo and Bekoev.
Okay.
And in second place is Bekoev at 35%. And in first place is Danny Left Hand to God Barlo at 41%. So 6% difference there between the two. So looks like both people are thinking Bekoev probably pipes Belgaroui on site, which I can see. And then Barlo pipes up the Jordane on site there. So there you have it. Let's get it up here. Piping of the week is we need a finish. We can't have these stupid ass decisions. Left Hand to God Barlo to pipe Jordane Santos on site. All right, let's go 3 for 3 again this week. On site piping of the week is Danny Left Hand to God Barlo to pipe Jordane Santos on site. There you guys have it. That is the show. Do us a favor on our way out. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll be back next Sunday at 10:15 Eastern time on the dot. We got Dana White's Contender Series coming up. Week number 10. 6 fights. 6 fights for the last card of the season. I'll be getting my breakdown sometime tomorrow. I'll be doing a fight companion on Tuesday, and that's going to do it for Dana White's Contender Series this year. It's been a phenomenal season for DWCS. I mean, some of the fights this year have been incredible. Did you ever get to watch that fight from last week?
Yeah, I did not. No, I watched like the first couple. I saw that fat dude get knocked out, and then there was another fight, but then I fell asleep because I was watching it at like 3:00 in the morning, and I slept through the last couple fights, which were supposed to be phenomenal.
Oh, you gotta watch it.
I'll probably watch it late night tonight or tomorrow. I'm gonna watch it.
It was literally one of the best fights I've ever seen ever. So, all right, that's it. We'll talk to you guys soon. Best of luck for UFC Vancouver. See you later.